change the set to try to find over many a time to doubt. They try to control us with their lies and their schemes, but I'm a rise above, fulfill my wildest dreams. The beats be banging, the rhymes be tight, trap rap flowing through the darkest night. The no respect me for the sellouts on the screen. I'm spitting through me, can question what you've seen. Mind over me, I'll break free from the mold. Trap rap revolution, we taking control. No one more puppet strings, we standing tall. With every word I speak, I'll make them all fall.
Oh, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope everybody had a phenomenal Christmas today. I'm here. I'm going to do some streaming. I just spent time with my family during the day, and my lady friend is down the Cape with her mom. So I'm free. So I figured I'd do a show today. Why not, right? Well, hope everybody had a phenomenal Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And we're close. We're getting pretty close to 2025, and I'm really looking forward to what that will bring here to LTL Media. And for all of you, it's going to be a very, very interesting year. I mean, we have possibly the Karen Reed case 2.0 coming up in April. If the trial doesn't get moved again in the summer, we're going to be coming back around to the Brian Kohberger case. And I plan on going out to Boise, Idaho, and spending at least a week out there and doing some live streaming outside the courthouse and, just capturing some video and the experience in and around Boise. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And amongst other things, we have Brian Walsh as well that will be coming up in 2025. So lots of things going on here in the great state of Massachusetts and beyond. But what I thought I would do today is I wanted to go back into a year of review, what we've done here on the LTL Media channel in the year of 2024. And there's been so many ups, downs, left, rights, good, bad, and indifferent. But I thought we would go back and look at some videos of some old friends and people that mean dear and near to my heart, and some people that we no longer associate with, but they were part of the channel in 2024. And I'm really excited to go back and look through some of this. I'm not going to be able to play like all of the videos because the lives are like 2 hours long, but maybe we can play some snippets and just talk about that and reminisce. And what I did today was I took some notes and I kind of timelined everything. So we're going to start right in January of 2024. And we're going to work our way all the way to December of 2024, and then look forward to having an amazing new year and new things here on the channel and the platform and new content for all of you. So without further ado, let me look in the chat really quick. We'll pull up some chat names here, and then we'll do this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to look back and see what goes on. So Greg is here. He says, let's fucking go. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Debbie's in the house. Merry Christmas to you, Debbie. Nice to see you. Susie, Go Squad member. Thank you for being a member. Merry Christmas. And I think Hanukkah started today. So happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends out there and Jewish subscribers. And maybe someone can confirm. I think it did start today, or it might have started yesterday. I don't know. Someone can probably help me out. Claire is here. Go Squad member. Nice to see you. Katie's here. Go Squad member. Ducks are free. And Merry Christmas to you. Kelly's here. Nice to see you. Mac D. LFG. I love it. Let's see. Mary, channel moderators here. Let's see. Miss Smith checking in. So, oh my God, Brian, I just noticed that you have over 36,000 subs. I've been subbed to you before. You had 10. Congratulations. These are all the growth and wonderful things to get you closer to your dream. Well, thank you. That was very nice. And Merry Christmas to you. Donnie Not Wahlberg's here. Merry Christmas to you. We have Mama checking in on the Twitter sphere. And if you want, you can come over here and join us over here on YouTube. That'd be great. Katie says, what a surprise. Karen, Merry Christmas to you. Joseph, starting it off, gifted 1 membership. So welcome, new member. Dee's here. Cold is here. Merry Christmas to you. Cheryl, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you, Andrea. Go Squad member. Sharon says, Merry Christmas, peace, and love from Canada. Brooklyn's in the house. Nice. Merry Christmas and much fun from the UK checking in. I love it. Meatball Morsi checking in. Merry Crisis. I did have a great day. Thank you, Lori, Go Squad member. What the Fox in the house. Merry Christmas, fellow chatters. Kim's here. Nice to see you. We had Go Squad member Jen T in the house. Merry Christmas. All right, let's kick it off. Let's get the show on the road, right? I love this. Super, super excited. All right, let's kick it off. January 19th. January 19th was a great day, and we had our special guest that joined us on the panel for the very first time, Melanie Little. I love this. All right, let's play, but maybe we'll do like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of each, and just think back. Liz, when I was back in my bedroom, 15,000 subs. Love it. Good stuff. Lots of growth here. 1 year. Oh, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to LTL True Crime. It is Friday night, January 9th,
Mike Young Jerks checking in.
2024. I want to welcome everybody into the live show. I'm not an attorney, but I found an attorney over here that wanted to join the panel, and I want to welcome in Melanie Little. So welcome to LTL True Crime. How are you?
I'm great, Brian. Thanks so much for having me on your show. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were having a lot of fun backstage, kind of warming up and talking a little bit about tonight. And again, I love your work that you've picked up the Karen Reed case. I think we needed, one for the team over here. And I love the way that you've been kind of dissecting everything. And it's been pretty amazing so far. But before we get into that, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about just your background and experience if people don't know who you are. I'm sure everybody does, but on replay, they may not. So I remember this live because now I remembered and I looked down. I remember I wrote like a copious amount of notes for this. I wanted to have like all my shit in place and make sure that I was ready for Melanie. And I remember like glancing down at my notes. And it was a good time. This was a really good time. And I love Melanie to death. It's been quite a while since her and I have done a stream together. I know that her channel is booming. She's probably like super busy, but I'm really glad and blessed that I had the opportunity to have her on my show. And I consider her a friend for life. I mean, she's a very special person to me. Her and I used to talk extensively about the Karen Reed case. And, people get busy. I get it. And, just a really good contributor to the channel. I think she's been on my channel probably 2 or 3 times, and just a really good person. And I love her analysis. I love how her channel is classy and how she's a classy person, and she's earned every bit of success in her career and on YouTube, and she just crushes it and just does a great job. But let's play a little bit more, and then we'll move on to the next video here.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I like to say that I'm a recovering lawyer, because everybody hates lawyers. And if you're a lawyer, you don't like to admit you're a lawyer. So it's like, hi, my name is Melanie Little. I'm a recovering lawyer. So I went to college in Boulder, Colorado. And when I was a senior in college, I took a business law class, and I thought to myself, what can I do to stay in Boulder for a couple more years without having to go and get a job? So I decided to go to law school. It was never like my childhood dream. I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. And so I figured that by going to law school, I could still use.
I missed that side angle, though. I remember this side angle in my bedroom, and I sometimes miss it, the front facing angle that I have now. But that side angle wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad little angle that I set up there.
All my acting skills, except I would get to write the script and I could perform for a jury, and nobody could tell me I didn't get the part. Nobody could, kick me out of the room, and they had to listen to me. So it's all the same kind of skills. I think a lot of lawyers are frustrated actors. So I spent the entirety of my 30-year career representing victims and survivors of abuse of all kinds, clergy essay, child essay, and other types. I helped injured people rebuild their lives, let's say. So I was always a voice for people who couldn't stick up for themselves, who couldn't speak for themselves. And I was the advocate for them. And I spent 30 years of my career doing that. And then, you know, a couple of years ago, I just decided I needed to pivot because I had litigation against the Catholic Church, the Rockville Center Diocese, and I represented at least 50 or 60 men and women who were victims of clergy abuse after the scandal broke back in 2002. And that was a 15-year fight. I mean, that sucks the life out of you.
15
So
years.
after doing all that for such a long time, I decided to pivot. And here we are today. But this is my wheelhouse. This is what I do.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing. You know, like I said, I've been kind of popping in on your Karen Reed streams, and you've just been doing so great and really approaching it, you know, with it, you know, with open eyes. And, you know, and that's really what we all needed to do, is we just needed to open some eyes here and just let everybody know that, you know, what the Commonwealth here in Massachusetts, in our opinion, saying that, you know, what happened that night at 34 Fairview is just not adding up. I remember this too. I was still very raw to the case, you know, like it was still like, oh, my opinion. Obviously now a year ahead, you know, like they fucking killed him. Like they fucking killed John O'Keefe in 34. You know, I was kind of approaching it with kind of a middle ground at that point. But you know, things change and you get more involved and you learn more things and you start to understand. And then when you're sitting in that courtroom and you're looking at these people, you know, they're just liars in the whole trial and going through that. So that's my little tribute to Melanie. We get to hear a little bit of her backstory there. And that was a lot of fun. You know, Melanie's a great person. I had a lot of fun doing those lives with her. And she was just such a great contributor to the channel that day. All right, let's do a real fun one here. Let's do a real fun one. So we're gonna fast forward now to February 23rd. February 23rd. Let me see if I have any smart people here in the room. What happened? Let's see. What person was very much anticipated around February 23rd? I'm gonna wait for the chat. So a particular person around February 23rd, who would be that person that we were anticipating a comeback to YouTube? Let me see. I'm going to see if anybody in the chat can get it. Yeah, I remember Melanie backstage, like putting her lipstick and makeup on. Yes. The turtle. Yes. TB. I love it. All right. One Aiden Turtleboy Carney just got out of jail. Yep, sure did. And this was the first official interview released from jail, back in action. And I'm sure he was just frothing at the bit to get out here and talk. And this was cool. This was a surprise appearance. I remember he texted me and he said, "Hey, do you want me to jump on?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want you to jump on." And it was really cool. And we'll play some of this here. To court. All right. I can't hold back any longer. My fucking smile is so big right now. Dude, what's up, bro?
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's up, man? So, no, how are you? Yeah, how are you? Gifted Angel Fire, thank you so much. Gifted 5 memberships. I appreciate that. And welcome on new Go Squad members. I appreciate that. All right, let's play this. This is really good.
I am overwhelmed right now, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I don't know how to feel right now. It feels so weird. Just like it's gonna take like a week to readjust, man. Like I said,
he just got out of jail that day.
Like I was so looking forward to getting out, and then yesterday around like 2 o'clock, I just started having like anxiety, man. It was weird. Like shit.
Say hi to everybody. Everybody's here, bro.
What's up, Turtle Riders?
Everybody's like ecstatic right now, man. It's crazy. I mean, it's been a whirlwind, dude.
Thank you so much.
It's just been crazy. And today it was like I was saying, it was just all the people that messaged me, like, it doesn't look like he's gonna get out, and then it looks like he's gonna get out. New shirt?
Oh no, I've had this. I'm just saying, like, I'm making a face like, who the hell said I wasn't gonna get out?
It's like,
Stop
well,
listening
you
to
know, the
morons on
trolls.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe don't listen to them.
Right.
And
And then
that's not how bail revocation works. Bail revocation works like you revoke your bail for 60 days, which they did. You serve your 60 and you go home. That's how bail revocation works. It's not that, I mean, and I'll never be convicted of any of these crimes. Everybody knows that. So basically, I just did 60 days in jail for nothing. And that's irreparable harm. And, you know, the Commonwealth better hope. They better hope that Brian Tully doesn't get arrested, because if Brian Tully is going to get arrested, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'll tell you that much right now. You understand this? Like, if they brought charges against me by some criminal cop who they should have known was a criminal cop working for the state of Massachusetts, brings charges against me to cover his own ass because I'm exposing him, and then he ends up getting arrested, right? Millionaire. Overnight, tomorrow, like, thank you. Not a problem. I'm looking forward to that. But
Welcome in,
obviously,
good to see you.
you can't get any civil suits unless you get the problem fixed. So I'm anxious to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, obviously, because the Karen Reed case is obviously now intertwined with mine. And, you know, the fortunes of Karen Reed go the fortunes of me, I guess. But, you know, I mean, these charges, we've all read the charging documents.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. I don't even know what these 2 new charges are today. Like, whatever, just add them to the pile at this point. It's just, this is what they do. Basically, they knew that I was going to have, every time you're about to have a good day, December 22nd, I had a good day in court. And then what do? They set it up the next day.
Yep.
Right. Then today, they know I'm getting out of jail. And what do? They add 2 more. They could have done this a week ago. It's nonsense. But anyway,
well, their plan is, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Aiden. You know, their plan was, and I think, you know, we've all talked about it out here, is keep him behind bars as long as Karen's case goes, and then once she's out, he's out. This was what it was. It was to silence the whole movement. Fucking movement wasn't going to stop. I mean,
no.
What did they think they were going to do? Of course.
Well, they did get more brazen. All of a sudden, Chris Albert and Jennifer McCabe start showing up at court. All of a sudden, real quick, they got real brazen there. All of a sudden, and
I sat behind her in court the other day. at Karen's hearing. Take your time.
Yeah,
be right back. Behind. Yeah.
All right, let me speed up
He's
a little bit.
Back. He's got something going on, but hang in here. Aiden will be back in a moment. There he is.
Hey,
what's up, dude?
Not much, man. Not much.
Hey, Lauren, how are you? Good to see you.
I forgot what we were talking about there, but hopefully everything's good.
You just said stacking the charges every time you get to go out.
Yeah. Whenever you get a W, they just keep adding on the charges. But I mean, none of this is going anywhere. This is all nonsense. Let's not forget that they put me in jail for 60 days because they know they'll never convict me. And they're like, well, let's get them in there for 60. But you know, I'd rather not have gone to jail for 60 days. I'm not gonna lie. It was a really shitty thing, not gonna lie. But you know, I did it. So
I have to say, you know, like, the incredible growth that I've seen Aiden go through just from like this day all the way up to his present time right now. I am absolutely so proud of just watching his growth. You know, we had him, you know, get out of jail, and then he had to go through some major adjustments, and you know, we had the trial, and he's just running all over the place, and I just felt like his anxiety was like at its highest. Okay. And then we get through the trial, and, you know, he meets Meredith, and Meredith just starts coming into his life and totally just brings him together. I'm so proud of just like his writing has improved. His lives have improved. You know, his social media presence is insane. Like, I think before the trial started, he was at like 50,000 subs on his channel. He's well over 100,000 subs north. You know, he's just done such a great job, and to watch him grow in just, you know, this last year alone has been so impressive, and super proud of that guy. Has balls of steel, never backs down, and just like, I always have great interactions with him. He's always very nice and cordial,
And again, you know, I'm just like super proud of that guy. The growth has been so amazing, and he's going to be a shining star in all of this. You know, when Karen walks out of that courtroom exonerated, or if this even goes to fucking trial and it just the charges get dropped and Karen goes free, you know, he is just going to be the one, like, I told you guys so, like I told y'all so. And you know, without him, we wouldn't all be here. So to allow us, you know, to come into this space and help contribute has been really amazing. And to share this space with him has been a true honor. I mean, I'm just so impressed with him. But let's play a little bit more and then we'll move on. I want to try. I got a lot of little videos lined up, so we'll get through them tonight. All right, here we go.
A lot of people can say they went to jail before. I did it. I survived it, and you know, I learned a lot by being in there, man. I learned a lot by being in there, and if they wanted to like stop me, they're not going to. I mean, obviously, I haven't broken the law to begin with. I mean, I ended up in jail over a freak thing. Like, let's be honest, like a freak fucking thing. Like somebody made up a lie that they have no evidence of whatsoever. And, you know, that's all it takes to get your bail. I mean, and by the way, we also found out today, it looks like we've been told that they're going to be dropping that charge.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, dude, that like, you see what's going on in this country right now, like especially like all right, I'm gonna move on from this. Obviously, you can always go back and watch these live. I got a lot of little clips to get through tonight and just get to some like important people that have been important to this channel and important in my life and part of like the growth that's happened on this channel. And I've been, you know, really honored. And again, we're gonna get to people that I just don't mesh with anymore. And it's funny to see how people were then and how they are now. But anyway, Meatball Morrissey's, thank you. $20 says, Merry Christmas, Brian. Pass the gravy indictments for all the McAlberts and those involved in the cover-up. Free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy, and justice for John O'Keefe. Thank you for the 20. That's very kind of you, and Merry Christmas to you as well. All right, let's get to someone here that I met during this peaceful protest outside Michael Morrissey's office. This is Paul Christoforo on February 29th. 2024. We'll get to hear a little bit of his I interviewed him outside the Meatball Morrissey standout. Here we go.
Yeah, and a lot of people are still showing up too. We got a few more people showing up. There's some other people down here on the other side. And I think that we're all going to
be checking in real quick. She says, you have grown a lot too, Brian. You've gone from your bedroom to your second studio outside your house. So proud of you. That's so awesome. Really, really cool. And let's see. Brian, you are impressive. Look at your growth. Keep doing what you do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, let's keep
going to walk over there after because that's where they pull out at the end of the day.
Walk around
the bullhorn in the office. There we go. Yeah. So, Paul, let me ask you, how did you get involved with this movement and what kind of drew you to everything that's going on? Because you're one of the standout leaders here. So how did you get involved?
I came in later. There were some people that came.
Hey, Shelby, how are you? Merry Christmas to you. Paul, it's really windy that day.
And it's grown bad. But I saw Aiden's first live, and it intrigued me a little bit. It took me.
Thank you so much.
I'm not. This isn't me. This is way out of my wheel.
Yeah.
And but then I started to court documents myself, get a little educated. It just didn't seem right. And I showed up at the courthouse one day, and all of a sudden I'm like,
kind of got hooked in, yeah. Could be anybody. This could be anybody.
I got 8 kids and 10 grandkids, and it could be any one of them. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that goes to select board meetings in my life before.
It was cold that day. I'm gonna just get through this, but again, another person that I love and respect in this movement and has become a real friend of me and the channel, Paul Christoforo, such a great person. And I hope that if Paul's watching this, you know, have a Merry Christmas, man. You deserve it. You deserve the rest. You work hard. You work very hard. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you. All right, let's move on. March 3rd, 2024, the first time on the channel, Rita Lombardi. That was her first time on the channel. Let's pull it up. Let's play a little bit of this. Love it. Still in the bedroom. Still in the bedroom.
2024.
Still in the bedroom.
And we have a very special guest this evening. Someone that has been very prominent in the.
It's a beautiful thing. So
Yeah,
it's
it is.
very
He was right
exciting. I wish I
correctly.
could have stayed out longer because they know how much I love to stay out with them. And but I had fun in the short time I was with them. I had fun.
That's great. I just want to let everybody know
Yes,
tonight. So I do have Rita's campaign link where you can donate to her select board run. It's pinned to the top of the chat. So if you want to make a donation throughout the through this broadcast, you can. It will be pinned to
Broadcast.
the chat, top of the chat. You have a lot of supporters in here, which is great. And this is what I want. You have a lot of people from all over, which is amazing right now.
How thin I was. I love the I miss my old counter, my little sub counter up there. I miss that.
So anyway, let's get into your select board run. So I'm just going to do the first
I had
basic
notes.
question
I
I think
remember
that
this. I had
everybody is
questions.
asking why, and maybe everybody already knows that answer to, but what made you decide to run for select board?
Okay, first
I have my notes too. And I always do this thing. I always used to do this like adjusting thing. This is so funny.
just want to say
There it
thank
is.
you
There's
to
the
everyone who has donated so far. I have, seen the list. I really appreciate everybody's generosity. People are just so incredibly kind. It blows my mind. And this is going to be an epic campaign, and everybody is going to be welcome to participate in it. So we're all going to celebrate our right to vote and freedom of speech. So back to your question. What made me decide to run? Randy Scollins made me decide to run. So Randy Scollins is the finance director. And really, really what happened, I mean, the special town meeting that we had last fall, everyone knows the work that went into pulling that off. That was a monumental task,
Thank you so much.
brainstorm of brilliant Kathleen Howley. And when the police chief and the board of select would not meet with us as citizens, the only way to get audience with them was to initiate a special town meeting, and which blew them away because they had no idea what we were doing. We did it all through social media to get people to sign signatures, to get enough signatures to have a special town meeting. So enormous effort went into that. And people came from out of town. We had 2,000 people show up at that special town meeting. Normally 300 show up at the annual town meeting. And we had 2,000 show up, and 100 came from out of town. That was a monumental effort, and we all worked hard to achieve the end result. And the end result was to get the vote of the independent audit approved. And that in itself, so getting people to the special town meeting was a challenge in and of itself. But at the special town meeting, the proponents of the independent audit were bullied by the opponents. We were bullied, we were heckled in a public forum, and people were intimidated not to vote their truth. So for the 903 that raised their hand in support of the vote, and they had to do it multiple times because the select board rejected the vote, even though it was the will of the people. And, so enormous effort went into planning it. Enormous effort went into attending it. 5.5 hours on the Monday before Thanksgiving. People carved out of their nights to come into the special town meeting. And then we were victorious, which we were thrilled that 903 courageous people voted for the special audit. And so, the wording in the warrant, it went through multiple iterations, and ultimately the town's attorney had language in there that gave the director of finance the ability to have a position in the five-person committee, which is not what we wanted, but it's what we got.
An old friend reappeared.
So they had that, and so the committee was supposed to get going February 1. That's what, you had 60 days, get people together, get your designee and whatever. And Kathleen and I reached out to Randy in December and November and January to trying to get a status update. If we didn't reach out, he probably wouldn't have done anything, hoping we'd go away. And then he never called back. He would just maybe email back. And everybody knows what disrespect he shows me and in general, which is, why Foxborough got rid of him. But, we have nothing else going on here, so we might as well take another liability. Let's just take Randy Scollins and add him to our liability list. But whatever. Don't get me going there. But anyways, so Randy.
All right, I'm gonna pause this. Rita's such a great talker and conversation. I had the smile on my face, but I do want to move on. I have a lot to get through to you tonight, and I hope we can get through all of it. But Rita, someone I just care about a lot, someone that I've met through this movement. She's been in my studio multiple times, and we've had a lot of fun together. And I hope that she's getting, the rest that she deserves. I know Mike just said something about it. Mike just said, Rita will be back. We messaged today. Brian talked about it last night too. She'll be back. She just needs a break like all of us. And she loves it. She deserves it. I just said love because I just read Mike's comment. So love watching this, Brian. You did a lot this year. Well, we all did, man. And you did it, listen, we all contributed here. We all contributed. And, we all have done amazing work in all of this. And it's definitely changed my life. I was just looking. An old friend popped up on the screen there. And, that old friend was had helped me out a lot, over the summer. And, found this space that we're in now. Well, the first edition of LTL Media Studios upstairs. And, got me that stepping stone to be in this room. And it's a great room. And, I'm really happy to be here with all of you. This has been something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, since probably the dawn of YouTube. I always keep saying, I got to make a channel. I got to start a channel. I want to do YouTube. I want to be a YouTuber. And, you dibble and dabble when things first start happening. You get on, you kind of dibble and dabble, and then you just kind of find your spot. And these are things that I've always really wanted to do, to give back to my community, to talk about things that are wrong, to try to fix things and find solutions, but at least give a platform for people to come to and have some common interest. Maybe they're going through a hard time, or maybe they're really involved in, like we do here, local cases, just to be able to kind of sit back and talk with some friends about it and have some good discourse. So it's always a good thing. And that's right, Lauren. Everything in everyone in our lives does happen for a reason. Just gets us to that next step. And who knows? Life can change in a week. Life can change in a day. Life can change in a minute. But, I can say this. All of the great people that I've met over this last year, people that I still have connections with and friendships with will always be here. I remember that. I shared a lot of memories with people. I've met some really great people. And I've met all of you, the people that come here, that subscribe, that contribute to the channel, the growth of the channel, that back this channel, that back me. That means a lot. This is, these are friends forever. I know that we will probably, a lot of us will never meet in person, but, I will remember. I remember the chat names, and I remember people that come back. They may dip out for a couple months and they come back. And that's really special, that people, people will go and come back. And it's nice to see that. All right, let's see what we got next. Rita Lombardi. All right, here's one for the ages. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn the air on a little bit. It's warm. It's a little warm. It's a little toasty. All right. Oh, toasty. All right. Who do we got next? Who's our arch rival? Let's see if everybody can figure out in the chat. Who's the arch rival of LTL that got dubbed BLT? But listen, it's history. He was part of the channel. He was part of the live. Let's see if everybody's got it here in the chat. Let's see. Teresa already knows. But we'll play a little bit. And it's amazing. It's amazing how it all changes and how people change. and we're all smiling. And now we just fucking hate each other. All right. Mike, I remember when he used to call in. It was like the secret voice, you know? All right, let's look at Shawnee O. Shawnee O, part of the channel. March, let's see, March 7th. Oh, God. Let's play just a little bit. All right, Shawnee O, here we go.
From DC, Roslyn,
The
right
Riddler,
into
yeah.
Arlington County. And I was like, quote unquote, a real cop. I was a beat cop, working midnights, doing the deal, doing the whole thing, running down calls, boom. Then I was promoted
Riddler.
to a crime scene investigator. And that's why I bring a unique perspective to this Karen Reed case.
Here it is.
Because
already starting.
like anything I've ever done in my
It's already starting the fucking narcissism. I bring a unique look to this case. Oh, Sean, come on, buddy. All right.
life. And my
Let's play a
wife
little
is a testament. She says, Sean, Jesus, you go full. I mean, if it's not golf, not the guitars,
Ah,
this, that, you know. She
Like
goes, what
talking
about
to
me?
himself
I
a
said,
lot.
Sue, we got 17 and a half years. March 17th is one of our weddings. We're going to be celebrating here pretty soon.
oh,
And
hey,
then-
my birthday's on March 17th.
Wow, how about
Yeah.
that? And then 8808,
Yeah.
we did the infinity wedding because we did a small wedding because I was going to Caracas, Venezuela, and then it never happened. But anyway, so I spent 5.5 years with Arlington County, and I got hired by DEA. Right now, the funny thing is, I didn't know anyone in DEA. I got rejected 3 times.
Yeah, well, that tells you a lot.
I guess I wasn't, being a white Irish Catholic wasn't what they were looking for. But
Yeah, you get rejected 3 times. All right, I've had enough of Sean. Good luck. Good luck. This is not the Christmas miracle I was hoping for. Yeah, well, we're going through the history. We're going through the history here, and we got it was. Listen, he was part of the channel. Look at this, Katie. Sobriety date is March 17th. I love it. Well, happy sobriety. She is a testament for putting up with them. You guys are too much. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's move on. March 18th, one day after my birthday. My birthday is on March 17th. We had an amazing guest, first time up on the panel, telling us about the Sandra Birchmore case. And that is my friend Mizzy, mixed up girl in a mixed up world. And she's been a channel moderator, someone that's very special to me. We've had many, many conversations. She's been a friend of mine on the phone in time of need. She's been a guest in my studio, and she does amazing guest spots on all of these channels that she collabs with. And I cannot say enough nicer things. And she has a heart of gold and just one of the biggest hearts that I've ever met. And she's great. Let's play a little bit of this. My little tribute to Mizzy. Back in the bedroom. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Pull
LTL.
this up.
They should. I mean, this should have never been closed.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I think we know the people or person that is involved with Sandra's death. And
look at this.
I think, the way that we feel. But again, it's just an extremely disturbing case. So how did you get involved with the Sandra, doing this research on Sandra and learning about her case?
Yeah, I was just hanging out, cleaning my room, and I had the news on Channel 4, and they did a report on the internal report, the Stoughton police report dropping, and I was like yelling, "Hey, how's everyone doing?" I was like, "Are you effing kidding me?" And I was yelling at my TV, and I was like, "This cannot be." And I started looking up everything I could on it, and there wasn't that much press on it, and there's only a few days worth on through the news.
And by the way, Mizzy, love the comforter. Love the red comforter. I think it's awesome. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But we'll play a little bit more here.
I got to look into this case, but I'm also a small creator. I interview families who have a loved one that's been murdered, and I started looking into the case, but I was working on 2 other cases, so I wasn't able to really dive deep into it. but I felt like Sandra was like speaking to me and saying, Mizzy, work on my case, look into my case. I would go to bed thinking about her case. I would wake up thinking about her case. And I was like, I have to do something with this. And happens that my friend Sarah messaged me and she said, what is up with the Sandra Birchmore case?
Yeah.
Because the guys from the case were going to cover her son's murder. And I was like, oh, yeah, how did you know about it?
Yeah.
And she told me. And then me and her were just talking about her case for like 2 weeks straight. We started doing deep dives about it. We read everything we could get our hands on. I read the internal report. We were just continuing to keep talking about, I mean, we talked for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And she finally said to me, hey, I can't run a Facebook group, but I can do a petition, because a petition is a lot easier than a group. She said, if you run the Facebook group, I'll do the petition. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So that day I started the justice page, and we just had our year anniversary a couple weeks ago.
So that is Mizzy, a little tribute to her there. And I know she's in the chat. She's a friend, channel moderator, and has really helped me out in times that I've needed to talk to someone. She's been a real friend, and I appreciate you. And thank you so much, Mizzy. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. She's her vampire. I love it. I love it. I love the style. Just so good. What was I going to say? Someone up here earlier. Oh, by the way, so kind of the reason I did this, and I think he's going to be okay if I say this, but Mike and I were talking a little bit earlier today, and we're talking about some things that he's gonna do something. I wouldn't say really similar like this, but kinda. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll go back and do like a best of or look back, a year. So I want to call that out. Mike inspired me to do this today, and I think he's gonna be doing something like this on his channel coming up pretty soon too. And again, we're gonna do some lives together in 2025. I can't wait to do that. Let's see. Teresa just jumping in. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. I think I just had a Venmo or a Cash App come through. Let me just look real quick and acknowledge that. And apparently, I guess I have to thumbs up my Venmos, so I apologize. I'll make sure that I'll do that going forward. I didn't know that's you have to do that. I don't know. I'm a little boomer on that stuff, but I'll make sure that going forward I do. Cheryl, thank you so much for the 10, and best wishes to you as well too, and Merry Christmas. All right, let's look up. We got so we got to March 18th. We're gonna go to April 9th. April 9th, we were still building the studio. I think this was a monumental moment on the LTL Media channel. And we'll play a little bit of this here. This is when I officially got in the room. It was painted, and I was struggling, pulling my hair out, trying to figure out how the hell I was going to get this space to work. But eventually it worked out, and it was a great addition to what we're doing here.
We'll
so
wait for some people to come in.
I think we
realize probably a lot of
show the
people
room
are
a
watching
little
Melanie
bit
right now.
I have my list of things I
Pro
need to
2.
do.
I have some cameras, my Sony camera on this side.
And the funny thing is, it didn't even turn out like this. I still had like weeks and weeks that I worked. It was the most frustrating process to do this. But I gotta tell you, I missed that room a little bit. It was smaller. It was a little bit more intimate. I used to like the gray walls. That was really cool. But we grew. We expanded a little bit. So still all good.
Then I'll be grabbing my Sony camera from home as well too, and then
my
finalizing all the lighting in here, because that has been probably the biggest challenge so far, is figuring out the lighting, because it gets very, very dark in here, and painting the walls super dark, it absorbs all the other light. But we've done some tricks in the studio, and I actually bought a couple of lamps today, some lamps that we can control the light on, where I'm going to possibly be able to use those as well. But it does get dark in here. But hoping, and
no string lights. I miss those across the ceiling. I got to get some more of those and string them up in here, because that brings a good vibe to everything.
Praying that this week we are done with the full setup to be here.
I'm praying this weekend. Yeah. And it did not. It still took me wild amount of time to get that done. So anyway, moving on. We're going to get to May 9th. And the first time on the channel, I met this gentleman and has been a huge contributor to the channel and a friend and someone that always has great insight and perspective and has done a lot for the Free Karen Read movement. One Mark Mazza Media, such a great dude. It's been in this studio more than anybody. The most frequent guest here on the LTL Media channel. And this is back when he didn't used to turn his camera on. And I always told him, dude, you should have kept that running forever. But I guess it kind of spoiled it when he was outside the courthouse on certain days, and people kind of picked up because you can't miss his voice. And it kind of gave it away, and people started to identify him. But it would have been so cool if you just kind of carried that out. What is it? What the hell was that show? Home Improvement. What was it? Is it Wilson, the neighbor, when he just kind of had his eyes over the fence like this? It would have been great if Mazza kind of carried that all out. But let's play Mazza, first time on the channel, and this is my tribute to Mazza Media. Mark's such a great guy and been a real true friend in all of this. And I fully respect that, dude. All right, let's play. Mazza, what's going on, man?
Thanks for having me on the show, Brian. I'm happy to be here for the first time. I'm very excited tonight.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I know I have to first say this. Thank you so much for supporting me. You've been kind of retweeting all my stuff, and you've been in the chat a lot, and you've really supported the channel. So one, my hat's off to you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I knew we would kind of clash at some point. It's just the timing had to be right. But welcome to Let's Talk Live. I appreciate
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
it so much. Yeah, I've been following your show for several months.
Yeah, he was.
Every time I see you on, I'm always hitting that retweet, repost button and jumping in the comments when I have an opportunity to. And just I like to support those of us, or those out there that are really trying to spread the Free Karen Read message. And I've just seen your diligence over those months, and I always want to kind of, when I see you on, like, let me share your feed for you on Twitter or X, and just help get your show out there even more. Not that you need my help, but I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, man. Every little effort helps in the Free Karen Read movement. You know, I always say that everybody is doing their parts. Obviously, we have the king, the man on top, Aiden Turtleboy Carney, that has started all of this. And we were talking backstage where, you said that he doesn't really get into these stories that, kind of those, when it comes to, he's like, I'm going to tell you so. I told you so, and I think he's been doing a phenomenal job for just over a year and a half in this case, and really done some hardcore reporting on this. And guess what? He's been right. He's been right.
Yep.
So
100%.
All good stuff. And again, I always say this. And we talked about this early, you and I backstage. I said, I heard about this case at first and kind of put it in the back of my memory. And, some of the locals were talking about it. And then when I started doing my lives back in September, that kind of led me down the algorithm of oh God, Turtleboy's doing this stuff. Well, welcome in. And then eventually got him on the show and learning all his reporting on this. And again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And I've been always very appreciative of everything that he's either done for me or done to help, the Free Karen Read movement. So
right, exactly. He shared so many of my posts on X over the past several months, and his team over at TV Daily News on X as well has shared a lot of my, especially during his imprisonment. Turtleboy Daily News was sharing so many of my posts almost on a daily basis, and it was helpful.
It's just so wild to hear Mazza's voice and then know who he is now. I still, it just surprises me, but that's he's such a good dude and such a great friend of this channel, and always welcome here, and a friend for life now, a friend for life. But we're going to move on a little bit. So that's my little tribute to Mazza. It was the first time he came here on the show, and it was a really great experience to have him on. So good stuff. All good stuff. Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. We're going to move on to May 12th. May 12th. And I can't remember. I think this was the first time. May 12th. May 12th. Are we going to really get angry about Vemos tonight? This is what we're going to do on Christmas. Really? Really? This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do about today. Okay. We're going to talk about Vemos. I'm sorry. I'll make sure that I go back and like all the Vemos. The funny thing is that I announce them on the air and I give credit to the people that send the Vemos. So if you're here and you're Vemoing me, I'm addressing it and I'm saying thank you. If you just rewind maybe like 10 minutes, I got either a Cash App or a Venmo, and I acknowledged it in the chat, and I acknowledge all my Vemos and Cash Apps. If I guess I'll have to go back and thumbs them up. I didn't know that I had to do that, but I'll make sure I do going forward. I mean, this is what we're talking about. Vemos, really? Vemos and Cash Apps on Christmas when we're trying to do a year in review. That's what we're doing now. Okay, good one. All right, Jess Machado here. First time. I think this was the first time she was on the channel here, and I asked her, what it was like on a courtroom on day one. She gave us a perspective, and this was a great live to get that
seems to amaze me. The chat always gets going. I'm already looking and I'm just laughing hilariously. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Live, because that's what we do here on LTL Media. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. I think we're going to have a fantastic conversation. I have Jess Machado from the Fall River Reporter here, and we're just going to hang out a little bit here. But
and Jess was awesome too. Another great friend, someone that's given me tons of guidance on all of this. Kind of, navigating the back channels, how to get in and out of certain sites and look information up. She's taken the time and very kind to do that for me. And she did like weekly check-ins with me for almost like 7 or 8 weeks, which was badass, which was really badass. And to get that perspective inside the courtroom, in the press box, and hearing her, perspective of everything that went on that day. It was such great collaboration, true friend, and someone that, will be my friend forever. And I truly respect her. She works fucking so hard and has been an inspiration for me.
First we get started, I want to do this to all the mothers out there.
Oh, yeah,
Happy Mother's Day. I
Right.
hope you had an amazing day with your family, your son, your daughter, and cherish those moments because they are truly special. But I'm not going to wait too much longer. Let's get Jess in here and let's talk about
last year. And I
speed up a little bit. All right, here we
couple
go.
of days to pick Jess's brain, but let's bring her in here.
Bring him up.
And Jess, how are you?
Hi, bestie. How's it going?
Well, I'm well. Happy Mother's Day to you, by the way. You gave me a little insight how your day was. So you went to you got a new fishing rod or tell me a little.
Yeah, I got a full setup. I started fishing last year with some inherited equipment.
This is what this does. You gain weight through the Free Karen Reed movement. I know in 2025 we'll be eating a lot better. We got a couple more days. We got 6 more days till the end of the year. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days, and then we're gonna be tighten the diet up. All right, let's go.
From my dad when he passed away, and some old timers taught me how to cast and try to catch some fish. I had a radio show last year, and I would document every day I went out there, and it was pathetic. And I told my husband and my kids, I said, this year I need a whole new setup. So my husband took me to Bass Pro yesterday, and I got some stuff. So it was a good day.
Nice. I'm so sorry to hear about your dad's passing.
No, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you for coming in, joining. I want to let everybody know before we kick off the show, 25% of all donations will be kicked back to Karen Reed tonight. And if my girlfriend can keep kind of the running total, that'll be great. I know she's in the chat. KC, help me out. But let's not waste too much time. Jess, so tell me a little bit about you and how your background and how you got into being a reporter and a journalist.
Yeah. So, and thanks for having me, by the way. This is great. You did a fantastic job holding down the fort when Aiden was on vacation. So you did a great job. So I've primarily just been a stay-at-home mom for a long time. My oldest daughter's 23, and I certainly had some jobs in between when it helped with a good work-life balance. I've always done some freelance writing, and a couple of years ago, I was actually sick with COVID, and a guy that I know who was at the radio station down in New Bedford, which is Fun 107 and WBSM, which is the AM version of that. He called me and he said, "Hey, we've got a slot on a Saturday if you want to come on and try out a show." And I did. So I had the Jess Machado show for over a year over there on Saturdays. It was great. And then they had a gig for the summer last year. So it was a Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 show. And I did that for the summer. It was done in the summer. And I was like, now what do I do? You know, and Fall River Reporter, I had done some freelance writing for them. And my boss, Mike, called me up and he said, "Listen, I know you love radio." He said, "But I think you should come over here and do some writing." And took a chance and went over. And so I've been able to really learn a lot from the team over there. We have a small team. But, you know, he believes in free and fair press more than anything. You know, mainstream media does not give you the full story. And we had mainstream media down here in the Bristol County area, like a very large, you know, I wouldn't even say they're a competitor anymore. We've just pretty much, you know, dominated all of the news scene down here by just making sure it's free and fair press. You know, we don't have paywalls to our stories. We work really hard to make sure they get out in a timely manner. And there's no competition because people want facts and truth in those stories that mainstream media isn't getting. So down here, the New Bedford, Fall River area, we've really taken over. And we're just primarily a news outlet online. We don't have a paper version of what we do. But that's the future, you know what I mean? So, and I can talk a little bit about it, but on that day one, when I was in the line, you know, there's mainstream media standing there and they're a little behind the curve. They haven't really figured it out yet. And so that's why there's cuts across the board with them, why they're losing staff and we're hiring. My boss says all the time, if I had 5 of you, we could just write so much more and do so much more work. There's just, there's not enough people to, the talent pool is small down here in Bristol County. So so I've been doing that since November. It was a really great move. I've always been following the Turtleboy story. And when I started working for my boss at Fall River Reporter, he was all in on it. He had been a guest on Fall River Reporter shows. They've done some live streams over the past couple of years. So Aiden has been on a show or two with my boss. And of course, I was featured on Turtleboy. So I had a little bit of a history there. So, and then I had the free time. I was great to be able to, I mean, it's a dream job to be able to get paid and go and report on stories that interest me. So yeah, that's how it started.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. And it's funny because you say that the future is independent media, and that's kind of my slogan. I have it all over my t-shirts. And if you see the crawl on the bottom there on my the bottom, I truly believe that the future is independent media because people want things that are unfiltered. They want the truth. And you can clearly see, I mean, just go back to COVID. I mean, what we had through the entire COVID fiasco and all the lying that went on during that. So, you know, unfiltered, in your face media is what people want. You know, they want truth and they want, you know, a real story. I just want to do this really quick. I'm going to bring this up. Clara checking in.
So yeah, Jess Machado, so great friend, amazing talent, inspiration. And I'm so glad I've got to meet her. She's been a great contributor to the LTL platform, and you know, look forward to hopefully doing some things with her in 2025. Nick Rocco in the house. Nice to see you, Nick. Merry Christmas to you. Hope you had a great day with your friends and family. And I gotta Nick up here someday. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna fast forward now on May 22nd. Oh, I had a double dipper on that one. I had Natalie Loyochik and Kurt from Uncivil Law. And I remember going through the Jen McCabe testimony with Natalie Loyochik, and it was pretty funny. We had some good times here. But we'll play a little bit of this and we'll play a little bit of Kurt. Here we go.
Officer, but she was not sure, meaning you were not sure, correct?
I was not sure if she made what the police officers may have heard. That report is his recollection. My recollection is I told him that she said, I hit him. And I told him that he should ask responders if they heard that, because it was a great possibility that they heard it as well.
But none of that, you'll agree, you just read the report, none of that is in his report.
That's a very brief report.
I didn't ask you if it was brief. I asked you if it was in it.
Right. Correct.
And that's a report of a conversation that he had at 34 Fairview with you for the specific purpose of memorializing what you told him. Correct?
Correct.
And what you told him, according to Sergeant Lenk, is she said one phrase, I hope I didn't hit him. Correct?
That's what's in the report.
All right.
You said it.
And again,
said
this was 2.5, 3 hours after the incident, not 2.5 years later, correct?
Correct.
Ms. McKay, we talked yesterday about this
This is so pathetic.
unrecorded meeting.
What's that, Natalie?
This is so pathetic.
Yeah.
She is so clearly a liar, and to sit there and stare in everyone's face and act like she's righteously indignant is insane to me.
I just thought like, listen, I wasn't going to give her that much credit, but I almost thought like she's going to come in and just fold, the second day here. She's going to stick with her story and protect all those other people and stick with her story. And it's just like, you are lying. Like, you are lying.
That you had in front of Sergeant Lank's home on January 30th. Do you remember that conversation?
I remember the conversation, yes.
Have you had any other home visits with any other police officers
I remember doing that.
involved in this case?
I went to drop off. It was not a visit. It was myself with Kerry Roberts dropping her daughter off. There was no involvement of Mike Lank on this day.
Have you been to the home, the personal residence of any other police officer involved in this case? Ever?
Yes.
Tell me who.
Kevin Albert.
Who else?
I went to Elizabeth Proctor, the wife of Michael Proctor's house.
And you know who Michael Proctor is, right, Natalie? Michael Proctor is the
trooper.
Yes, the trooper in this case. What?
She's had a sexual relationship with Michael Proctor.
Oh, Natalie. No, I'm like, no, she didn't. Oh, that was good times. I remember we did the shock and horror. Me and Natalie did the shock and horror. We kept saying it. S.J. Howard, member 15 months. I need my bell back. Damn it. I got to get my bell back. Merry Christmas to you. You were my first membership. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got to find the shock and horror. That was a funny little video we did. I did a clip of it. I got to play that. I think it was a shorts. Let me see. I go, Natalie, she had shock and horror. I got it. I got it. All right, let me go. Let me pull this up. I go, Natalie, shock and horror. Where is it? Let me bring this up here. Here we go.
Sorry.
What you read just now appears to be a report of the incident in which Sergeant Lank came back to 34 Fairview to give you an opportunity to tell him whatever it was that you thought was important, correct?
Was that a full report or was that just an excerpt from it?
Well, it's a full report of that incident of Sergeant Lank going back.
You know what the question is. Answer the question. This woman just is not credible. Sorry.
Why not have it?
This woman just is not credible.
I don't know if I have it. I know I had the shock and horror one. Shock and horror. Let me see. Let's take a look. Natalie. Shock and horror. Is this it? I got it. This is good. Let's see. Let's bring this one up. Here we go.
Of my daughter and put semen on it and said property of some named blogger that I think the defense is very familiar with. So that is why.
This is so prejudicial. You're accusing them of participating in harassing you.
And it's on the record in front of a jury. This is interesting.
I don't think that the jury can unhear this. The jury has heard this. So even if she says, okay, my ruling was wrong, well, then what's the remedy? You tell the jury to disregard those things that they heard over and over and over again. And then you reiterate it to them and then say, hey, forget that thing we kept talking about.
Yeah, I know we had the shock and horror thing. I forgot where it was. All right, let me go back to, I might have lost it. Here we go. So then Natalie spent some time up on the panel. And then I had Kurt from Uncivil Law come up. She was tired. She was really, I think she had traveled that day. And Kurt jumped up. And it was cool. Two channels that have over 100,000 subscribers. And they were checking in and watching me, which is kind of cool.
Multiple times in the morning, yes.
Of the 3 searches that show up that were all found on your phone, the one that you disavow is the one that took place at 2:27 a.m., which would implicate you and exonerate my client.
Yeah, hang on one second. Uncivil Law in the house. How are you?
What's up?
What's How you doing?
Yeah, I knew we were in trouble from the prosecution's open, and the last several weeks has not gotten any better in any respect. It's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster.
That's great.
And for me, I try to just keep this simple. It's like within the confines of the state versus Reed, the state has the burden of proof. So sometimes when people ask me, like, what do you think happened? I'm like, that is not my problem. That is not my problem. My problem is, does the state have the burn? Did the state make its burn? If not, I'm done. What happened? I don't know. Nor within the confines of this case do I, strictly speaking, care, because that is not my problem. All I need to know is whether the state's proved its burden, and then I'm done.
You know, Kurt, and by the way, welcome to LTL Media. And we're on Let's Talk Live here, and I appreciate you doing kind of the spontaneous to jump up. You and I have never met. I've come across your channel quite a few times, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. It's awesome to have you jump on. But, you know.
Yeah, so that's Kurt on Civil Law. And let's see. Let's move along. Let's move along. All right, let's take a look. So we had May 22nd. We're going to fast forward to June 13th. Brandy Churchill came up on the panel. I think she was with Mazza, and I think I had Jess Machado on the show too. Let's see. Now I'm all out of order. I'm all out of order. Let's see. Nope, it's not that one. Here we go. Here we go. This was a power pack panel.
Proctor.
Back in the.
I could not do it with.
Let's see.
Get into today's testimony. I kind of want to roundtable this really quick and get some first impressions about
Jess Machado.
Michael
still on
Proctor.
Let's
start
the
with Jess here at the top. Jess, let us know. You were in the courtroom. Tell us about some jury reactions when you were there with Trooper Proctor.
Yeah, I mean, listen, first of all, I think the build up to Proctor,
this was a fun panel, I remember.
I mean, there was this back and forth on whether or not the Commonwealth was even going to call him. So there were some days where we didn't think we were really going to get it. And then finally they call him. And it literally did not disappoint. It was it gave everything that I thought it was going to give. As far as juror reactions go, you cannot understand what is going on in a juror's head when it comes to whether they think Karen is guilty or not. You just you can never tell. But this was by far the most animated I have seen any of the members of the jury. First of all, by the way, on the second day of Proctor, we lost a juror. So we lost a male juror that left, and supposedly it has nothing to do with the trial. But it's very funny. This is the one juror, if you follow my tweets, he was the one that always had his head in his hands.
I'm just going to speed up. I want to just showcase Brandy a little bit here. Hang on. Let's see.
A friend of mine, I was just talking to a few weeks. She was
is going to,
here we go.
You know, abuse power and, you know, not take his job seriously and misrepresent his connections to people in the case. That one's a huge one. It shows that he is, it's kind of like that, like I'm above, you know, I'm above the law type thing because I am the law. And if you can't have faith in him or trust him, then every single thing that is entered into evidence through him. And even though stuff was entered in through other people to try to avoid that, jury's not stupid. So that, like, we all know that it comes from the lead investigator. And, I think that it puts like a cloud of doubt over every single thing that he
Not
has
yet,
said,
Kevin.
that he says, does, introduces, and all of that. So I think it's really bad for the Commonwealth that he's such a, let me be ladylike. I'm not a fan. I'll just say that. I'm not a fan.
Brandy. Great channel, great podcast that she puts together about the Free Karen Reed trial. She does a great job over there on our channel. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. Moving along. June 24th. Finally, the studio is complete, and I have my first in-studio guest. Do you all remember who that was? Let's see if anybody in the chat knows who it was. Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? Yes, Warren knows. Let's see. Yes. All right, let's pull it up. It was not Rita, it was Tom. It was Tom. It was Tom. And let me see if I can find it. And that was exciting. That was very exciting. It was my first guest in studio. I remember being super nervous. We were worried about if the equipment was going to work, and it ended up working out really great. It did. And Tom was a big help here, helping me out in the studio. And Tom is, a special guy, salt of the earth. Really, like one of the first people I ever brought up on panel that in the Free Karen Reed movement. I think he was my first Free Karen Reed guest. And salt of the earth, does a hell of a lot for this movement, and just contributes. He's that guy's like, I don't know how he does it. He's just down at every single standout, every single court date, and him and Boston Mike having a great morning show, and he just, really, really good friend. But let's pull this up. All right, here we go. This was fun. Welcome back. I guess we could say welcome back too. So Let's Talk Live here on LTL Media. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a fantastic the jury. Nervous. It could be the quickest LTL.
Yeah, in the same room together.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it's
see, days we really don't know. But without further ado, I'm not going to wait too much longer. I'm going to bring in my live guest here. Let me just bring the camera up here. Yeah, and I am going to welcome in the very first live guest in LTL Studios. We have Tom CPU. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
We're having a conversation. Look,
this is amazing, Brad. This people have to really see this to feel it. This is a feeling.
I appreciate it.
Wonderful.
And look, I just want to prove.
And it's a great feeling. We're here in the same room together, and it's a very very welcoming, very open, very nice place.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I worked really hard.
You can tell
there was a lot of laughter and tears shed putting this together, and it took a while. And it's still, in my mind to look at it, I said there's things that can improve, but it takes time.
You'll get there.
We'll get there.
It just takes time.
It just takes time.
And again, you may change it backwards over. You don't know, right?
And I'm going to do this for you so you can see the chat. Hang on 1 second, guys. I won't be rude.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. There we go.
Because I can see the chat here. Everybody's saying they're saying fantastic. This is great. So the reason I had Tom in, I'll tell everybody this. Tom really was the first one.
That's right.
That kind of privately reached out to me when I got involved in the Karen Reed movement. And the way he did it was he used to go on my videos and leave comments, and I used to be like, Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?
What's he doing? And then eventually pulled me over into his streams, and I would watch his streams. You were doing like night streams at that point. And you were talking about the Karen Reed case, and I said, "Oh, all right. Well, we gotta check this guy out." And then Tom and I connected and started having a lot of conversations. So,
and then the whole Aiden thing happened, and then that, I mean, you jumped up and took care of that for everybody. That was good.
yeah, I think we've all really done our parts, you
Yeah.
know, and I have to say that I've met some really amazing people along the way. I've gotten to do so many things in the last year that I would never ever thought would have happened or dreamed of.
Listen, there's some people out there that you just don't even dream exist, and yet you meet them, and they're the nicest people in the world.
Mhm. And
it's crazy. I can't even put it into words, Brian. I've tried so hard to say to people, like, you have to feel it. I mean, these people are just total awesomeness.
Yeah.
You know,
That's one thing I have to say is that, you know, the people, you hear the trolls, you hear all of the things on Twitter, you know, they try to say that, you know, we're scummy people and, and we're the ones that are attacking everybody. And it's further
Listen,
from that.
I heard we were following the jurors home. I heard we were doing, like, they're just whatever works, whatever they can throw, even though it's not true. They just throw it up there. I guess that's what happens when you kind of looking at a lot of time in jail. I would figure.
Exactly.
I don't know about that, so I can't help. I can't answer to it. I can't talk about it. I don't know.
Right.
You know.
I just want to let everybody know tonight. We are going to do the $25 25% kickback. So 25% of all donations is part of my stream. That's been the ongoing theme here. I said until this trial is completed and Karen is free and exonerated of all these bogus bullshit charges, we will keep kicking back here 25% of all donations. Tom's working the chat over there on the iPad. Everybody's saying
this is
good
awesome,
evening.
bud. This is really awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a cool experience. And Tom, it's funny. Tom came in and you can see his signature up there in the corner. And I said, "Here, buddy, here's the Sharpie. Go sign it. You're the first official guest." So
yep.
Tom's here.
Crazy.
He's broken the
I could
studio,
watch
so.
this live forever. It's so good.
Tom's just such a great guy to conversate with, and it's amazing. You know, I look at this now, you know, like you know, you check this out. Check this out. I mean, look at that. It's filling up now. I mean, look at all the names that are on these, all the people that have come into the studio or at least stopped by. And that's like kind of the thing. You know, if you come by, you gotta sign the board. And Tom was the first one. I think he's way up. Where the hell is he? Where the fuck did Tom? That's Todd McGee. Jen O'Donnell. Mazza Media, Lauren from DC, Mizzy, LV Cops, Nurse Kim. Where the fuck did Tom? Oh, right here. Best wishes for all your endeavors. Tom CPU. Free Karen Reed. I need Karen Reed on here, and I need Aiden on here. That's the two that I need on here. I got Dina, Boston Mike. I gotta get Mike. Mike, you gotta come down to the studio sometime. I see you in the chat. And just, you know, people that have come through. Jennifer Root, Todd McGee, Tracy and Dana, Rita Lombardi. Thank you for all that you support. Jen O'Donnell, never stand down. But yeah, you know, we got some names that we need to fill in on the board. But that's pretty cool. I'll hang that back up. All right. That was, I mean, I could literally watch Tom's live forever. I literally could. I could watch that. It was a fun live. Okay. Let's see. Where were we? I have to sign it. Yeah, I mean, Mike, anytime you gotta come down. We're gonna make the pilgrimage down to Rentham, and we'll do it. All right, let's go. July 3rd, and this was a fun one. July 3rd. Let me take my notes down here. Hang on. July 3rd. The first time on the show. This is fun. This has been fun. This has been really fun. I'm glad I did this tonight. First time in the studio. I'm not in the studio, but on the panel. First time on the panel. Let's see. Here we go. Mark Bero. Mark Bero. I think he's been on the channel twice. I was very thin and handsome here. And I remember that I was so nervous having Mark on that I asked Mazza to come on with me just if I was slipping a little bit here. Mazza, help me out. But it ended up turning out to be a fantastic live. Mazza was my wingman in this, but we handled it. We handled it well. I had the Celtics hat on from Mark and my beautiful blazer that doesn't fit me anymore. But we'll play a little bit of this, my tribute to Mark Bero. Such a nice gentleman. I had a lot of fun meeting Mark the times that I've had. We've conversated. We have great conversations, a friend of the show, and someone that I definitely want to get back on here in 2025. But this was a lot of fun. This really was a lot, and kind of kick off the show here. So let me just bring in Maz first. Maz, how's it going? There he is. I can't hear you. He's now. I think you might be muted.
Okay, there we go. Thanks for having me, Brian. Happy to be here.
Yeah, of course.
You get the new headset. I'm using the handheld thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's Mark, and of course the talented Mark Bero. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Love the hat.
Oh, thank you. So I want to kick it off. I know that you had a big win today, and everybody's been asking about that. So I'll let you have the floor and let everybody know about what happened in your world today.
Just a big one. You know, over the course of your life as a lawyer, you get a handful of real big ones of just actually innocent, good people that are getting screwed by the system. And today was one of those. It's been going on for 2.5 years. Fighting relentlessly against the Queens, New York DA's office, prosecuting an innocent woman who was just abused for years by her husband, who was not a good guy, most likely killed someone, dumped a bunch of stuff in her apartment. They lived separately. And these people in the DA's office wanted to prosecute her for having 8 firearms in her closet, but it was a closet being exclusively used by her husband. Everything in there belonged to him. She had no knowledge of this. And these people in the Queens DA's office just wouldn't let go of this. Even after this guy actually blew his own head off and left a suicide note professing her innocence, they wouldn't do it. And this just went on and on. They put this woman through absolute hell. She was facing a mandatory prison sentence for somebody who's, 63 years old, has been a registered nurse half of her life, never been arrested, never been in trouble. Her only crime was marrying someone who was not a good guy. But, we're
going to give everybody a bit of advice. Okay, I'm going to give everybody a bit of advice. And I remember hearing this on Joe Rogan's podcast, of all things. And there used to be a duo here in Massachusetts, Opie and Anthony. I'm sure that a lot of you have heard of them. They got fired, I think, one year for faking Maya Menino's death. Like, they went on air and said he died as like an April Fool's joke or something like that. They eventually ended up getting fired. I think they went over to Sirius Radio. They had an illustrious career over there for like 12 years and just had a hell of a run over there. But I remember that Anthony was on Joe Rogan's show, and he said to Joe, obviously he's the best podcast on the planet. And he said, you know what makes you great, Joe, is that when you have guests on, you shut the fuck up. You don't talk, because at that point, your audience wants to hear from the guest. And I've always remembered that in the back of my mind. When a guest is speaking, I just go, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Don't cut in. Shut the fuck up, and wait for that natural pause. And I've always taken that into, doing this. And that would be my best advice for anybody, of just getting better at doing this, reading the room, learning, to understand people. When someone's speaking and they're a guest on the show, just shut up. You only have to talk probably 20, maybe 10 to 20% of the time. That guest is going to lead your show because that's why the audience is there. They want to hear their expertise or the story that they have to tell, or anything that they can add to contributing to a subject that you're speaking about. So it's my best advice. Just be quiet and let them talk. And Mark's just such a great, articulate person in conversation. And I totally enjoy both Marks, actually. I enjoy them.
Heart wants what the heart wants periodically. And to see her suffer through this was torture. The trial was 2 months, which is ridiculous. It's about the same length as the Karen Reed trial, but this was nothing like that. I mean, much less charges than that. And to watch her get attacked, being accused of fabricating some of this domestic violence, being accused of planting evidence in his apartment, all kinds of just terrible stuff. And today was Judgment Day, and the judge, acquitted her of 18 out of 18 charges, walked her out of there. And that's an all-timer. So that's one that will stay in the brain again on that top shelf for a long time, no matter what else I do, no matter what else I've done. So
good victory for Mark.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
Really big one. Feel great for her.
It's interesting that okay, that was Mark Bero's first time on the show. Nice little introduction there. We talked about not a Karen Reed, Karen Reed event. It was a big case that he won, that he had been involved in a long time. All right, July 26th, we had 2 guests in the studio, and it's amazing how things change. So much. But Rita Lombardi and Jen O'Donnell in the studio together. First wide cam, and it's Friday night.
We
We're
go
hanging out, and we got some really, really special guests here in the studio. Welcome in, everybody. I love seeing everybody in the chat. The chat is filling up, and I'm not going to wait too much longer. I'm going to bring them in.
Not going to wait too much longer.
Shot here so everybody can see the studio. And before I do that, I have to thank Tom CPU today, because he took about 2 hours of his day out to come over and get the lighting set up with me and the camera set up, and hopefully everything is working correctly tonight. But we're going to have some fun. Let me bring Lita. This is where I am. Rita Lombardi and Jen O'Donnell in Canton residence. So welcome to LTL podcast. How are you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
Doing great.
Don't freeze up. We're good. It's
We're
funny.
all
sitting
very
there, we're
nervous,
going-
I remember.
We're going. We're just talking naturally, and all of a sudden they go, "We're gonna start the show," and they're like, everybody starts going this, and we're all nervous right now, but yeah, we're hanging out, we're having fun, and wow, how the times do change, huh? Times do change with one certain person, but look, let's just say this: I'm not gonna dogpile. I hope that Jen's getting help, and takes a break and gets it turned around, and we'll just leave it at that. So, all good stuff. Rita and Jen in live in studio. It was my first group in the studio. It was fun. Those were fun. All right, let's fast forward. So another group comes in July 31st. And now the host of Coffee Time. Is it Coffee Time with Boston Mike and Tom? No, Seeking Justice. Coffee Time is Tom's show. Seeking Justice with Boston Mike and Tom CPU. Live in studio. I always love this wide shot. It was great. And here we go. Boston Mike, first time over here.
First time in
Just
the studio.
sit a little closer up to that mic so everybody can hear you guys.
That seems to be my going problem. No one can hear me, man.
If you need the look,
there we are. Right
there's
here.
everybody up
All
there.
right,
You
hey,
can
you guys
put
doing
it
up there?
there.
All right, I'm here.
And everybody made it in. We were just sitting back here and talking before we went on air. And I asked Mike, I said, Mike, how did you get involved in the Free Karen Reed movement? So if you want to tell us a little bit about Mike.
It's kind of a good story. Not too many people know this, but I used to play basketball when I was younger. I was a 2 guard, so I used to shoot a lot. So I actually found a gym in Quincy when I was living in Quincy, and the O'Keefe family was there. So I got to know John, Paul, and Mr. O'Keefe.
Wow.
And when you I'll just put it this way, when you play basketball with somebody with 7 years, and you take showers with these people, and you kind of get to know one another, so to speak. And so John was a youngster. John didn't even have his license when I first got to know him. And Paul obviously was younger as well. But Mr. O'Keefe was a great athlete, and his older sister played D3 in Providence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Rhode Island. I'm not sure if it was Providence College or what, but she played D3. She's a great basketball player. She never played at the gym we were at, But we used to play 4-on-4, and it was just a pickup game. But it was a good run. It was on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. Maybe just Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. And I was in shape. I was like 22, 23.
When we were all in shape, right? When we were young and in shape.
Not now. No way. Not now. But back then I could jump through the roof. I could play for 3 hours. And, Mr. O'Keefe at the time was probably in his late 40s, maybe. And he could shoot.
Yeah.
He was a small guy. He's not a tall guy like John and Paul.
Yeah.
But he box out and like get a rebound.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Then John was the taller of the two, but Paul was a real athlete at the time. We just didn't know it yet. He was still in middle school, I think.
Wow.
Like 8th grade, maybe. Then he went into high school. He started becoming a quarterback. But John was a basketball player. I don't know if he played hockey or not, but he was a good basketball player. But he had this like little quick step jump shot, right? I used to just he was like, and he started getting as tall as me. And then like, a year or two later, he was taller than me. And his father used to pull me aside when he was getting bigger than me. He'd be like, beat him up.
Just rough him up.
Just beat him up.
Take him to the
I'm
hole.
like, I can't anymore. I can't. He's too big. And then he showed up with his car.
Yeah.
He was all proud, driving his brother to the games. And his father would show up in the work van. We'd all meet, run. And then around Christmas, we'd go for a beer or something. Or we'd go for something. And the whole crew that Mr. O'Keefe had there, they're all friends of his from one shape or form. And like one guy owned an elevator company. And the one guy was a CO. Had to flap it, a side piece dude that was bald on top. He used to flap it over. George was his name. But I just remember all these times that John used to chew gum. Very nervous, chew gum while we're playing, right? And I'd be like, he'd Charlie hustle, man. He played mad D. He'd get back on the ball. Didn't have much offense. Not much offense, but
defense guy. He used his size.
He did.
Yeah.
He filled up the lane because they were a little bit older. I was probably one of the younger, better players at the time, and he was getting there. So we'd match up all night long.
So was he a cop at that time, or
So he just got through. So I knew him for years. He got through high school, and then I don't know how he went to school, but he became a duck spray cop.
Okay.
I'm from the South Shore as well.
Okay.
But he wasn't there a long time, and then after I kind of moved on with life, I got into the automobile business, and I stayed in touch with him.
Yeah.
And I sold him a bunch of cars.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I've known
Merry
him
Christmas to you
for a long time through basketball and then through the automobile business. And then my wife got 2 speeding tickets one time, and I have his number, and I was like, I called him up. she got 2 tickets in 1 week.
Happens.
2 tickets in 1 week on the same road going to work. I was like, and I called John the first time. He goes, no problem. And then this wasn't even the Boston police. This is when a state police officer that gave my wife the ticket. So I called him on a Monday or Tuesday when she got the ticket. On Wednesday, it was fixed. I called him back on Thursday because she got another one, and it was fixed by Friday. So that's the kind of guy he was. So I would say to me, like knowing John was like a brother or a cousin that you just knew that you could call at any time.
Yeah.
I had no clue that he was living in Canton. I knew that when he came in, he bought a van from me and a Blazer. I'm like, you're a young guy. What are you doing? He's like, yeah. I saw him in Impala too. That he wrecked it or something like that. I introduced him to one of his girlfriends that worked with me.
Oh wow!
I know his type.
Yeah.
He walked in the service. I'll never forget this. I'm at the front. At the front desk in the sales department, and he walks in. We shoot the shit, and he walks out the service. And that girl, I won't say her name, was working the service desk, and he comes running back out to me. He goes, come introduce me. I'm like, what? You want to meet her?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So I walk out there and I'm like, this is officer. Blah, 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 blah. And they went, boom.
Wow.
Her parents were cops.
Oh, okay.
Father was a boss.
Yeah.
Up with the cop, something like that. I forget what he was. And so they just hit it off. But I don't think he ever went anywhere. John
chase skirts.
He did.
Yeah.
He had the badge and the gun, dude. I mean,
He was
a
a
good
guy.
looking guy. And then the whole situation happened with his family, with his kids and stuff like that. And he told me the story. I just tipped my cap to him, like, dude, what the fuck, man? That's awesome. Good for you. And he's like, I need to buy a van or a Blazer or whatever that was at the time. And so yeah, that's how I've known him. And so the free Karen. So when this
is a great story, and I encourage everybody to go back and watch that. It's a great. I never knew that. I never knew Mike knew him in that way until we sat down and he told the story, and that was pretty. It was pretty awesome. I never knew that. That was a really great live. All these lives have been great. I love going back and look at all. I got to go back and actually watch all these. I never go back and watch my stuff, but this was good. All right, let's move forward to August 16th. A very special friend of the show, a very, very good friend of the show, and someone that has been a huge contributor to getting me answers. And, if I have questions about policing or policies, and came up to the studio, and that is one Todd McGee. And here we go. He's having a great Friday, and I think this is going to kick off everybody's weekend. I would distinguish and save. How are you?
I'm doing good, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming in. It was funny. I checked out your PBS, Rhode Island PBS special. I did a live on it and did a review, and this is about 2 weeks ago, back on either August 2nd or August 3rd. Right. And I had a tremendous response to the video. He said, you're such a great, kind guy, very intelligent. And I said, I got to have this gentleman in my studio. And I reached out to you that same night. You got back to me right away. And I said, hey, I got this studio over in Rentham. I'd love to have you come in and talk about the Karen Reed case. And you said, absolutely. And then come to find out through our talking and our scheduling,
right next to each other.
we live pretty close to each other.
We're like almost neighbors.
Yeah, we're almost neighbors. So thank you for coming in. I was
it's
so
just
nervous.
crazy.
It's crazy, why we're here. We're going to get into a lot of the things Karen Reed today. We're going to talk about maybe some things that could change in policing in Massachusetts. But why don't you start everybody off with your background and tell us a little bit how you got into the Mass State Police?
Sure. Sharing with Brian offline that right after my graduation from Northeast University in 1987, I know I look young. I just shaved my gray hair for my youthful look. But I had an opportunity to join the Registry Motor Vehicle Police. Literally graduated in June of 87. Had a job in July.
He's such a good guy.
Started off my career in 1987 with RMV. And as a result of a state merger in 1992, four state police agencies were merged into one. So Registry Police, Capitol Police, Metropolitan
Use the
Police,
restroom. I'll be right back.
Old State Police were all merged into a new department of state police. So at the time, the original state police had about 1,000 state troopers, and the addition bumped the complement up to about 2,500. So we're still mandated for about 2,500 troopers for the Commonwealth. I think the numbers are down. It's hard to keep up with attrition, but that's pretty much the size of the agency.
Wow. Let me just ask you this question. Since the beginning of your tenure in the Mass State Police and watching police over a 24-year period, in your mind, how much has it changed?
It has changed, and I'm going to start off being a little critical.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that has hurt policing is technology. We use technology for everything. The difference is in this profession, you need to know your community. And if you've got a police officer sitting in their cruiser behind their mobile data terminal, you're not out embedded in the community where you need to be. And you're not knowing who the good people are in the community. And you certainly don't know who the bad people are, right? So if your patrol procedures are one that lumps everyone into one category, that's not the policing that our community needs. And that's not the policing that our community trusts. So
I love that. And that's a great live. And I urge everybody to go back that. Todd McGee's been a huge contributor to this channel. He's been a real friend and guided me with a lot in policing and questions and policy. He's someone that I trust when he speaks and just lays the truth out there and doesn't ever mislead me or misguide me, and we have great conversations, and a true friend, a real true friend, someone that I can trust. And it's been a pleasure getting to meet him. It really has. And he's been a great contributor of the show. And I will let you know, Todd is just as much invested in finding out what happened to Enrique Delgado Garcia as I am, and everybody else in this chat that follows this channel. We have almost daily conversations about that whole situation. And I really appreciate Todd doing that with me and educating me on policies and procedures. And he's just been a real, like I said, I can't say enough nice things about him. He's just such a great guy. Okay, we're getting to the end here. We're getting to the end. Let's go. Labor Day standout, September 2nd. And this is a real special one. This is a real special one. Karen Reed arrives in Dedham, Massachusetts at the standout.
Signs, drive by, stop by, join us, even 10 minutes.
These were fun.
It's great. Even 10 minutes to come down here and hang with us makes the world a difference. And if you can today, please, top of the chat if you're on YouTube, Karen Reed's Defense Fund link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you can make a donation to her defense fund, it will really help out, and we would appreciate it. Enjoy the atmosphere on this stream, please. Share the stream. Let's get it out there.
Let's speed up a little bit here. Here we go. Let me back up a little bit here. Let's play. This was a good treat.
Wow, we started like a real fan.
Mr. Reed.
Mr. Reed's here. Let everybody know in the chat. Mr. Reed, how are you? Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
So I can kind of admit it now. I've kind of held this in for a long time, but I got the tip that she was going to be there, which was awesome because I could be down there. This was the first stop I think she made that day, which was awesome. And they went around to a lot of stops. And this was so great. I went to Dedham and I went down the Cape that day, down in Plymouth. I stood with Renee Rose, who's a phenomenal person. She organizes all the standouts in Plymouth. I think she announced the other day she's had some health concerns. So I want to wish her well and Merry Christmas and a much better 2025. I'm hoping that she can get back to doing those Plymouth standouts. I love it down there. It's such a special place to go down there and spend some time with everybody down there. I've had a lot of fun when I've gone down. So Renee, another true friend in all of this too. But here we go. Karen Reed arrived. This was awesome.
What is it? Cat Ray on the chat. Oh, okay. Kathy, nice to meet you. Thank you.
How are you? Good to see you.
Hate to admit I live in this county. Because it could be anyone. I drag you all the time. Oh no.
And all these people, so great. So great. All these boots on the ground people. Salt of the earth. Dina.
Karen, can you say something?
Yes. We're gonna do a fundraiser for the work right now. It's gonna be with the buffer zone sign that.
Yeah, and Dina's buffer zone plan. I think it's like $3,000.
Got that one. I need yours too.
Karen, can you say something to the people around the world that are watching, supporters?
Thank you. I hope I meet all of you one day. And I don't know you, but I love you. And you're brave and
he would have protested the Vietnam War and ended it. This is the modern equivalent to that. So thank you all. We got you, Dad.
We got you.
On a holiday, you should be at a beach. You're here on a quarter.
No way. No way. We're here.
Hi, Karen. How are you? How are you? Good.
No, that's okay.
Hey, you!
Peter Murphy, Dennis Sweeney.
Be
the
careful
ground
of the
crew.
traffic, please.
I love it. Great people. Really great people. Vinny, little Vinny. I love little Vinny.
Don't worry, we got her back.
Michelle, she's looking for you.
No, I did not get
Tommy CPU.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I thought I said the bird. I'm just trying to reach over here.
My dad will, Michelle. Thank you. My dad Bill.
No, you're good.
It's Kurt. Another boots on the ground. Beatrice. Good stuff. That was great. That was a real treat. That was a real treat. And you can go back and watch that. It's a good stream. That was a good little stream. All right. Moving along. Let's see. So we had. Oh yeah, and I remember this. This was I think it was the Dateline episode. We did the watch party. September 6th. This was fun. We had a bunch of people in the studio. We couldn't play it live, but everybody kind of followed along, and this was fun. I Mazza, Rita Lombardi. Was Jen here for that one? Evening, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back here to LTL Live. Let's Talk Live here on the LTL Media channel. And we are going to put together an awesome watch party for you all tonight. I got Rita here, Mark Mazza here. We're going to do the wide shot here in a second. You want to follow along?
All right, good evening.
This was great.
Right.
I remember getting all the little popcorn for us, and we wanted to have all the hats out and make it like a movie theater vibe. This was a lot of fun, even though we couldn't play it, but it was a lot of fun, and it was creative. There was a lot of people in the chat, and this was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we did this, and I want to do this again sometime. This was fun. Pre-party here. Actually, Mark and I kind of were trying to plan something, and we were throwing around the idea. I don't know, a couple of days ago, and I said to him, I said, hey, it'd be cool if we do a watch party. And actually, what was it, like the Wednesday or Thursday? You were like, hey, why don't I just come into the studio? Yeah. And let's do it, but let's get a couple of people in here. So he said, well, call Rita. She'll come in and hang out. Fun. And here we are. So good stuff. Everybody didn't get to watch this live. The cool thing about it was I have the big screen TV. So you'll notice everybody's watching it. And we're commentating through it, which was fun. And then during the commercial breaks, we kind of gave the breakdown of all the, the 2020 episode, which was really cool. This wasn't Dateline, it was 2020. I think we did it again for Dateline. It was me, Mazza, and Lauren from DC. but we did it through StreamYard, but we couldn't put it on YouTube, but it ended up working. I think we had like 200 people in the room, and we could watch it live, which was really fun. And you can see us here. We went a little early. Yeah, this is all our reactions. So look at us. We're just pinned to the TV. And this was fun. This was a lot of fun. And we couldn't play the sound or anything, but people just like follow along. So they maybe had us on our phone and the TV.
Bends and weaves.
This is in between the commercials.
Your eyes always go to that spot.
in that curve, because
So-
it's a curve. It was great, and it was very creative. And I want to do this again sometime. This was cool. Maybe we'll do it during like the trial. I'll have some people in. We can watch the trial, and I can play it, and we'll get everybody in here and we'll do some reactions. That'll be a lot of fun to do that. All right. That was a great episode. That was, it's cool. This was a fun time. Okay. Moving along. September 15th, we had Jennifer Root come in and share Justin's story. And that was a really great live. And I remember doing the side-by-side. It was the first time I did the side-by-side sit down, and I thought this was really great. This camera angle was great, but this was a really fun live as well to learn about Justin's story and have Jennifer come in. She had a lot of her I don't want to say like props, but all her media that she had made to bring in and show and tell us about Justin's case, because it was very new to me. If you weren't live, go back and check out the Ken Bear stream from last night. Ken is and I had Ken Bear in the studio. I can't play any of that live because they nailed me on it, because we talked about some illegal substances on it. But I was gonna say, yeah, Ken Bear came in and did a live in here as well too. Wacky and wild guy. We had a lot of fun here for about 2 hours in the studio last night, and we heard about captivated me.
So, I mean, there must have been 200 or 300 people there.
Wow.
And it was amazing, and it was great to connect with people and connect with other families who've gone through something similar, and great to be with my justice sisters.
That's great. Yeah, no, that's really good. And then you traveled back today and made this show, which is really awesome. So like I said, I wanted to hear more about Justin's story. You brought in these awesome visuals and these tributes to your brother, and yeah, we have the one in the corner. I know this one we were just looking at a couple of minutes ago, which is beautiful. And you've shared a lot about his life, and I just wanted to learn a little bit about Justin. Could you tell me, who Justin was, growing up, his friends, and what his personality was like?
Yes. Oh, so my brother, he had a big personality. He was very creative. He was a performer, so he would have kind of rap lyrics and write his own music. And he really fine-tuned it over the years and actually got really good. And so he enjoyed doing that. He loved to ski when he was younger. He would go to Colorado with our dad. And hi, Dad, if you're watching. I think you are watching. Yeah. They would fly to Colorado, and he would do competitions. So yeah, I mean, he was funny. He was the type of person, if people were fighting or like in his neighborhood of Mattapan, he would interject himself in. A peacemaker. He was definitely a peacemaker. He was definitely my go-to if you're moving or need like big things moved, or if you like needed a ride to the airport. That's Justin. Yeah. I mean, he was there for you. He was also like a great listener. My kids, he would play ping pong with them. He would come over. He would cook. So he's really missed.
So tell us a little bit about what happened. Can we get into that day and his case, what you've gone through? I know you've gone through a lot over these last, 5 years. And then essentially, what you're doing to try to change laws and rectify this situation. And I know it's a very elaborate story. I mean, you have a lot of information on it, and you've done a lot of research into this case. So tell us. Yeah, that was a great live. That was a really great live, and Jen is just amazing. Okay, trying to move us along. Let's see. Aha, the first appearance, September 30th, the first appearance of one. Let's see. Make sure I got it here. This might be it. Yes. Nurse Kim in the house. Nurse Kim in the house. Here we go.
Can you see the live chat? Perfect.
Yep.
Well, this is cool.
My hat's all messed up.
Welcome in to LTL
Hang on a
Studios, Kim.
First time here, long time listener. Can't even handle it.
Love it. Mark's been here many times.
5 or 4 or 5,
Yeah, it's like 4 or
6
5
times or something. Yeah.
So we're gonna hang out. We're gonna talk a little situations that are going on in Massachusetts.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was
But
great.
I wanted to, I want to start off is how did you get involved in this, and how did you start a channel? And tell us, Kim, how did this all unfold?
Let me tell you a little bit about me.
Absolutely.
So interesting that you asked this, because I told my people at my live event on Saturday. I just
and
did
by
a
the
little
way,
how-to.
coming up pretty soon, I will be planning something here in the next couple of weeks to do some fundraising for Karen Reed. I am going to probably towards the end of January, maybe the beginning of February, I'm going to host a live event here at my studio. There's a conference room, so I'll be able to set up a live stream over there and get some people to come in, and we'll sell some tickets to it. And 100% of the proceeds will go back to Karen Reed's Defense Fund. Maybe get 20 or 30 people to come in. We'll sit down. We'll do a live together. You can be the live studio audience during that. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do that. So that's something that I'm going to be planning here in Rentham at my studio. More to come when we start planning it in the next couple of weeks, and I'll let you all know more about that. So let's play a little bit more of Kim. This is again Kim and Mazza in the studio together.
How did we become Nurse Kim? And I was basically, guys, just covering the Maya Kowalski case down in Florida. It was a civil suit regarding a hospital kind of medically kidnapping a small child, Maya Kowalski, and her family. They lost custody. It was an accusation of Munchausen by proxy, and her mother ended up ending her own life because the hospital would not give their child back to them. It was just devastating. So many years later, they got to the civil suit. They won. It was incredible. And that's where I kind of really got into this. Then I covered locally of New Hampshire. I did the Harmony Montgomery trial. And then there was a kind of lull. And I said, what's going on in Canton? Because it was coming in hot. And I went down a turtle hole, not a rabbit hole, a turtle hole.
Accurate.
And
Pretty accurate, yeah.
I said, it didn't make sense to me, because I remember when it first happened, right, Maz and Bri? I remembered thinking to myself, what a terrible accident. Like, what a horrific accident. And it was only, Karen was only charged with manslaughter at that time.
Right.
And I said, those injuries don't really equate in my head to being a vehicle related injuries. And the more that came out, the deeper I got. And it has never made sense to myself or any other medical professional that I've ever spoken to that Officer John O'Keefe's injuries are not even consistent with. It's never have I ever seen anything like that if you were to equate that. Equate the two.
Oh, let me play a little bit.
So then the more I got into it, and voila, I'm here. LTL Studios.
Kim's great. And another person I want to get on the channel a little bit more often in 2025. It was great. Great experience doing that together. And having Mazza there is just great. I mean, the guy's been in the studio like 4 million times. All right, let's move it along. So all my little tributes to everybody. Let's go to October 3rd. October 3rd, we hear and see the emergence of Lauren from DC. Now, if anybody doesn't know Lauren's background, Lauren was the first official person to have a free Karen Reed standout in front of the Capitol in Washington and I was dying to get her on the show and talk about that. She reached out to me, and we had her on the show, and has become a friend of mine. And this was really good interview here. And this is Lauren. So what I'm going to do, let me just back out of this. We'll go back to it in a second. I'm going to bring in my guest and add her to the stage, Lauren Rogers. How are you today?
I'm good, Brian. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm great. So we have a big event, a free Karen Reed standout that's going to be happening down in Washington, D.C.
Oh, it hadn't even happened
yet. That's right. But I remember we stayed in contact after she sent all the photos in. We put it up. She organized the first standout, which was fucking cool. I mean, there was like a free Karen Reed sign out in front of the fucking Capitol. That's pretty boss.
I'm sorry. The date is it December 5th?
Excuse me.
So it's actually this
Thank you,
Saturday,
Casey.
October 5th. We're going to be doing more though.
I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I'm thinking Christmas all of a sudden. I don't know why. You know what it is? Because the article that I'm reading from is December, but I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
So October 5th. Let us know. So let us know what's going on down in DC.
So this is going to be the first of hopefully many standouts. And we also want to do like a bigger kind of protest style event, like what you guys did at the State House.
Right.
We want to do that after the inauguration in January, because DC gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
But so probably like either end of January or February. But this Saturday will be our first standout. And
Nice.
we're going to meet right at the Ellipse and at 12 p.m. And we're going to be out there till about 3 p.m. And I mean, this is our first time. A lot of people aren't really familiar with the area. So it's kind of going to be a little bit of a rehearsal.
Right.
And, you know, we're hoping for a pretty good turnout. I know we have at least about 5 or 6 people coming right now.
Good.
But, you know, the more of these we do, I really hope that we can attract more people. I think DC is a great place to put our message out there, because we're talking, you know, the state level. And
Right.
there's only one thing above state is federal, you know, so I think this is a really good place to do some standouts.
That's Lauren. Free Karen Reed standout, Washington, D.C. Badass. And help me organize the first Enrique Delgado Garcia standout, the first non-family official Enrique Delgado Garcia. And we did that in Dedham. And that was a great, and that surprised me. I mean, I kind of just shot for the moon on that one. Just wanted to see who could show up. We did it on a Saturday, and there was like, what, Lauren, 40 people maybe that showed up, and it was amazing. It really was amazing that people would come together for that cause and help me out. I thought that was really great. You said you were nervous. No, it's fine. All right, let's see. Moving along. October 7th, one of my good friends, and now we have a little show that we do together, the Collier and Brian show. We do that probably like once every couple weeks. We'll throw an episode up, and it was great getting to know him, and he's been a friend. We've had a lot of deep conversations offline.
Monday evening, everybody. Welcome back to All the Snow. Have to give you a little.
Here comes the gray in my beard.
Well, he
Really
also
starting to
shines
come
as
out.
a your viewers, and it said subscribers only mode. And I'm like, wait, I'm not
Handsome
subscribed to
fuck,
his
by
channel.
the
Like,
way.
what? Like, what is? This is the second time in the last 2 days that this has happened. I've gone to a channel that I know I was subscribed to, and I went on to comment on something, and it said subscribe, and I'm like, I've been subscribed to this channel for well over a year. How does this happen?
You know what, though? I have heard that, because even like members of mine or subscribers saying that that's been happening a lot. Like people have been, you know, they've been like taken off, and they're like, I had to resubscribe to your channels. I mean, it might be like a YouTube thing, but who knows?
I think that probably is. You know, I'm not like you know, what are you gonna do? Who knows? But anyways, thanks so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it. I was wondering where you picked that bio up. Was that just like out in the ether on the interwebs? You're like,
It was on the ether, and I kind of tailored it a little bit. But I just wanted to have a nice intro and welcome you here.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's you know, it's so
you have to watch it.
cool.
It's such a great documentary. I mean, it's tragic, it's awful, but the way that Collier did it, it's amazing. And it really, I've seen a lot of things that he's done, but to have the camera in his hands with, you know, the director it just really turned out well. And it's not very long. I think it's an hour, just over an hour. And and the climax is just insane. And this is a really tough time of year for him. It really is. And I reached out to him today. I wished him a Merry Christmas. And, he knows he has my number. If he needs to reach out to me, he can call me. And he's just such a great friend. And him and I have had some really amazing conversations offline, and, a true friend. But please go watch that episode. It didn't get many views. I really would like to get more views on it. About 4,000 views. But he's just such a great guy, and it has been through a lot. Hang on one second. Let me just answer something here. Let's see. Okay. All right. So let's move forward. Okay. Oh, this was the one. This is the one that started and kicked it all off. Holy smokes. Times have changed, right? But some really great guests came into my show all the way from the great state of Las Vegas, the LV Cops. God, this was a great interview. And we raised $1,500 that day for Karen Reed's defense fund. Was really cool. And this is the first time I started doing multi-camera switching while trying to host a show and watch the chat. It was a great show. Yes. Really well. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to.
We're doing excellent. Thank you for
I remember doing all the multi-camera switching. I ran into some guys here last night. They just took a little bit of a trip. We'll go to the wide shot here. You guys can look up at the camera right there and wave to everybody. Right up there, we got the LV Cops in the house. Look at this shit going down today.
Let's go.
And
I was so excited.
Man, it's good to see all you guys here. How you guys doing?
We're doing excellent. Thank you for having me.
So good.
It was quite an
felt like a real podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
How's Massachusetts treating you?
I love it.
Now,
I'm from Idaho.
I'm doing this. Like, I don't have a producer here, so I'm doing this live. I got the little switcher in front of me, and I'm literally just looking at the camera and bouncing the cameras back and forth. But this was great. I mean, this felt like a real, absolute podcast. It was really, it was a good time.
So this is just like home to me. Weather-wise, temperature-wise, I love it.
Yeah, because we were talking earlier about the Idaho
Christmas
4 murders,
Eve.
and you said Idaho reminds you a lot of what's going on here. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Great
There's,
people,
there's
great
big
food.
stuff happening everywhere, right?
There always is. Yeah,
guys
there
are
always
good.
is. But this place is, I don't know, it's special. It's nice. It's nice seeing all the green trees and all the different houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people are
and
wonderful.
that was,
Everybody here has been amazing.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
What I want to do though is I want to just
out here.
shout out to everybody. I know there's a lot of people in the state of Massachusetts today.
Yeah.
They are standing out for Karen Reed. So
Correct.
I wanted to give you guys the mic, and you can shout out to everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you for everybody for coming out. Obviously, this is for Karen Reed, so we can't thank you enough for everything that you guys have done. You guys are the boots on the ground, doing all the work in Canton and standing out in the cold and in the rain and in the heat, day after day, week after week, almost a year now. So we can't thank you enough, Karen. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
I would also like to thank the Reed family, Mr. and Mrs. Reed, for inviting us to the event.
Yeah,
that was
we had a great
awesome.
event.
So thank you so much.
I'm looking at that sign. It says "Never give up."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Never
That's what
give
you
up.
have to, you have to remember that. Never
well,
give
I
up.
ain't done yet.
Yeah.
I don't give up. And I always,
Keep
that's
going.
kind of my mantra. I have to have that over the door, because some days it gets difficult.
Yeah.
It really does get difficult.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
what we've done, what we go through, the emotions. You know, I've talked about that here. You know, a lot of people are very invested in what's going on here in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And the emotions really
It's a
pull
big,
you in.
it's a big
sometimes.
story. It's a big story, and it's been going on, right? And people with
Oh, the
I
camera
don't hope I
switching's so
offend people,
good.
but
I love it.
have a brain would kind of
Like
see
a real podcast.
something just
Felt like I was
doesn't feel
watching
right,
Rogan.
doesn't look right, right? Yeah. So it's hard for me to understand why it's going to another phase, right? So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So we had the fundraising event for Karen last night. And I'm gonna pull out because I'm gonna move on here. and try to get this wrapped up in 2.5 hours. But I want to thank everybody here. Yeah, my never give up. It's right there above the threshold. And then if you go on the opposite side of it, when you come into my studio, it says great things are about to happen. I love it. So great things are about to happen above as you walk into the studio, and as you leave, it says never give up. Love it, love it, love it. So let's see. So we had that. We had LV Cops, and then one of probably my proudest moments on this channel to date was on December 8th. December 8th was huge for LTL Media to really get involved in major community activism, something that I've never done before. And it's just in the perfect spot because it's right near the Free Karen Reed billboard. But we unveiled the Enrique Delgado Garcia billboard. And this was a super proud moment for me, for the channel, for the community, to be able to do this and bring awareness back around to this case and get people talking about it again. You know, we had that media blitz that came out in September. I continue to just keep talking about it because it bothered me. I had the opportunity to meet with the Delgado Garcia family. I've been in contact with them pretty much daily. And to be able to get this up, stand up for Enrique, try to shake the cage, move the needle, doing everything I can do here from my small media channel to get some buzz about this case, get people looking on it, eyes into it, knowing and telling all those authorities that we are watching you and we want answers to what happened to Enrique. And this was a super proud moment, super proud moment here. And I could not have done this without all of you, the support that comes through this channel. You made this happen. The community made this happen. I had the idea. I used the community funds here that come through the channel to give back to the community to do this. And this campaign on this particular board is going to run until January 6th. And then it will move in the opposite direction right near the Foxborough State Police Barracks. And I'm actually going to let you in on something today at the end of the show. We've updated the graphic. So the graphic will change and there'll be a new message on it. And I'll show that at the end of the show. But here we go. We're going to unveil the board live stream.
The Hertz building
Out in
just
Foxborough,
outside of
Massachusetts.
Foxborough Stadium. And as you can see, I'm pointing towards a billboard. It will just take a moment here, but it will cycle. And there you have it. And there you have it. This is what we need. This is what we need. I need everybody to share this post today.
It's a
very
proud moment
important.
for everybody.
This campaign will run for 4 weeks.
It's a proud moment for everybody. And that's what I want to stress here. You know, because of this community, it gave me the ability to do this. You know, through YouTube, the super chats, the Vemos, the Cash Apps. I took that money and wanted to give back to the community. Help this family out because they are grieving and they have no answers. There is zero information coming through. And it's just tragic. It's absolutely tragic. And what I'm going to be doing here and something I'm going to be working on in the next couple of weeks is I'm going to be putting together a timeline of information sourced through news articles, sourced through family conversations, so we can start getting the correct information out there and on paper. And I am going to use use the ability to speak with the family to verify information before I put it out. You know, have you heard this? Have you seen this? Is this something? And I've been doing that. You know, all the information I've put out, I usually send a text message. We have a phone call and I verify it and just say, can you tell me this? Can you verify this? But I want to get a timeline because now I'm starting to be able to build more trust with the family. And they're telling me a little bit more. Like the other day, we actually found out the time that Enrique actually arrived at the hospital. And we found out what time the family actually got the call. So that information is pertinent. We need to know about that. And I have some more things that are going on behind the scene. I put some public records requests in. Not sure if I'm going to get it back, but it's going to give me a little bit of a clue if I don't get that certain information back from the particular public records requests I'm doing, then that leads me to believe that someone's either hiding something still or they're just not being honest about it. So I'll let everybody know about that, and I'll keep everybody up to date. So yeah, we had the Enrique Delgado Garcia board, and I look forward to continuing that campaign when it moves. And I look forward to obviously keeping up with that. So we're going to end the show with one more live, and this actually happened last night. And I know this person is in the chat. He's another creator, and I talked about this actually on the live stream. Mike from the Young Jerks. Him and I had some things that we needed to work out. We did it privately. We talked. We've met a few times in person. We've gotten a respect for each other. And, we talked things out, and, here we are. And I look forward to doing some more shows with Mike in 2025. And I was really happy to get him up on my panel last night. And there's the first appearance of Mike from the Young Jerks. And this was pretty cool. It was kind of a historic moment here. It took forever for us to get together, but it was a good little segment that we did together. And again, I look forward to doing more with him and possibly getting Mazza up on the panel with us, and really continuing to spread community awareness about Karen Reed's case. But we'll play a little bit of this. And I know, Mike, you're in the chat, so thank you for jumping up impromptu last night, and it was really nice to have you up here. Here we go. This gentleman up here. Hang on one second. We raised over $1,200 last night. Direct donations. If you didn't see the show last night, direct donations to Karen Reed's defense fund. And that was awesome. It was awesome to total that up at the end of the live. And we were kind of going back and forth. I know Auntie Deb has been doing it. Mazza's been doing it. And I was kind of challenging, my subscribers last night. Like, let's beat Mazza. He did $880, but we ended up doing $1,235. And just in those 3 lives alone, well over $3,000 in the matter of a couple of days was raised for Karen Reed's defense fund. So that's really awesome. Really, really awesome. And let's play a little bit of this here from Mike. Mike, you didn't have to super chat. Mike,
Brian.
Jeez, man. Read this really quick. Mike from the Young Jerks, $20 says, Merry Christmas, Brian. LTL, looking forward to 2025. Absolutely, buddy. Thank you. And, you didn't have to super chat me, but thank you. I appreciate that. All right, here we go.
Merry Christmas.
This is good. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, great job, everybody.
This is, isn't this awesome?
Plus. Yeah.
It's so good. So this is actually the first official appearance of Mike from the Young Jerks here on LTL Media. Everybody's loving you. Look at everybody in the chat's loving you. And I think it's really great to have Mike up here. Again, Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you had some fun this evening. And, listen, Mike and I have come really a long way. I think there was a little things that we had to work out. We handled it privately. We've built a respect for each other. And, I'm really glad that we've been able to conversate and really come together, because it's sticking together. And that's what we need to do during this time right now.
Definitely. I'm glad that I consider you a friend, Brian. And I like your show. Like, you do a really good job. I love what you do, and watching you handle things, especially all the good work. I mean, the billboard you did, it just I love watching what you do. You've been doing great work this year, and I really admire you, respect you, and I'm glad that we're friends.
No, yeah, and you the same, man. I always tell you how great your show is. I think your skills as an interviewer, when you have kind of those solo guests on your show, I mean, you do an amazing job. I mean, you've been doing this a long time. I know about your radio career. You've been in YouTube for quite a while now. And I always tell you, just keep going, man. Listen to the audience. That's what we need to do. And, I'm glad that you and I could, work each other, work things out. We've seen each other a couple of times, during some of the events. We've shaken hands, had some laughs and some stories. And, I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. I think 2025 is going to be I mean, this year was wild. It
was wild.
From December to this December, I'm just like, wow, what a ride that was. You know what I mean? Like, for all of us. I mean, when Aiden got locked up, that was a tough time. That was really,
yeah.
So it's good to watch him doing so well
Yeah.
too. Like, I feel like he's in a good space now. You can see it. Meredith,
Oh, right.
is awesome.
Back at 10,
and
15, that's great.
I just it's great to see everyone like doing the work. You know what I mean? It's just like whether you're boots on the ground, whether you're holding signs or you're doing shows or on Twitter, there's certain, everyone has their hand. Some people like Nick Rocco, like I just watching Nick Rocco this year. Like,
yeah.
I'm so proud of that guy. I love Nick Rocco. There's so many people like that. So
yeah, then you look at like, Peter Murphy and Dennis Sweeney, Rita Lombardi, the ones that kind of lead the boots on the ground down there.
Rita.
How
Yeah,
fantastic all those people are.
Yeah, you said listen to your audience. This is my message to Rita. Like, I actually just said Merry Christmas to Rita today. She said Merry Christmas back, but people miss her, man. People are like, on my show, they're like, you gotta get, as much as they ask for Bero, they want Rita. They want to see Rita. They love Rita.
Yeah. It's okay though. Like, it's okay to take a break. I mean,
Rita's gonna take as long as she needs, which is good. She did a lot this year, probably too much. You know, and we get that. You and I get it. We do too much.
Yeah. We do a lot. And sometimes you do have to step back and take a break. I took a week. I'm probably going to extend that after tonight and take a little bit more time off. If anybody's just wondering who I'm texting, I'm texting Rita right now. And I just said, Merry Christmas, Rita. Love and miss you. Hope you are well and look forward to seeing you again soon. So I mean that. Hope she's getting rest and taking a break. We'll play a little bit more of this. I know that you've been kind of slowing down a little bit and said, hey, I want us to spend some time with friends and family, and it's okay to do that. It's hard sometimes when you're a creator because you have that thirst to keep doing something. As much as I was saying, like, I'm going to take a break, but I'm like on Twitter a little bit and I'm on Facebook and I'm posting and I'm writing articles and, it's like, it's in us. It's in us to create and to inform. And it's hard sometimes to let go,
It's hard to know what the line is. Like what's a healthy balance? Let's put it that way. I have a partner, so she tells me. That's what, like, she's just like, get off that. We're watching a movie. So like, I have that. Thank God I have that, because I'd be worse. I would be much worse if it was.
Yeah, my new lady friend, she kind of reels me in sometimes too. She said, we'll go out, and she goes, I might start slipping into it in the dinner conversation.
Yeah.
Are we going to get LTL tonight, or are we going to get Brian? And it was funny. We were out at dinner the other night and I purposely made this joke. I left my phone in the car and I was like, see, I didn't bring my phone in with me. Cause sometimes it's just like, like what's going on? Is there any information? And no, she's great though. She dials me back a little bit and reels me in.
I mean, it's hard not to, because all of a sudden something will break.
Yeah,
you're off it, and then like all of a sudden all this news comes out, and you're like, shit, I gotta catch up. What's going on here? So it is hard. I mean, it's funny because people ask me about other like news stories and politics, and I'm like, I have no idea. Like, the only thing I follow is this stuff. Sandra Birchmore, Karen Reed.
Yeah,
it consumes everything. Like,
yeah, we're pretty locked in here in Massachusetts. When you're here, it's hard not to get out of it. I mean, like, I was out the other night in Dedham and I just sat down and like someone came over and they're kind of like looking at me, and I looked at my plus one. I said, someone's probably going to come over the table. And they do, and it's just great, because like I always say, the closer you get into Canton, everybody starts kind of noticing all of us. I'm sure you probably get that when you're out
when
too.
I'm there.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're big
when
up
I'm
in
there,
your area, so
it's so different. I mean, I get noticed once in a while up in the North Shore, but when I'm, like you said, closer to Norfolk County, it's a different thing. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's great that we've all had that ability to connect with people on the ground. I mean, that makes you feel good when someone comes up and says, hey, I watch a show. I think it's great what you're doing. Amongst all the, the backlash that we get too. I mean, it's nice to see that. And then
that's the best, because, like, as creators, we most of the comments are always good, but you remember the negative ones, the nasty people. But when you are out in public and someone comes up to you and you realize that they know everything. They've been watching you every freaking night, and you're like, I've never met this person before. It is an amazing feeling, no doubt about it.
Yeah. All right. If anybody's interested in watching that full clip, Mike jumped up at the end of my show for like 18 minutes yesterday, so I'm going to drop that in the chat. And as promised, before we head out of here, I just want to show you the updated Enrique graphic that we're going to get up on the second board when that one starts and moves in September. I'm gonna reveal it right now, live on the show. And this is what happens when you're here. You get to see all this cool stuff. But this will be the new graphic up there. And we're going to say, what happened to Trooper Enrique Delgado Garcia? Please visit justiceforenrique.com to demand answers. And then I had to put the disclaimer up there because that is a requirement. And it's going to be paid for by LTL Media. And we got the little YouTube sign. So that's it. That's going to be the new graphic. I'm really proud of that one. It's going to change from we want answers to demand answers. And it's going to have, as you know, on the website, it has all the affiliated contacts that you can get to. And if you haven't seen the website, I'll bring that up. I put this together for the family. Let's get the QR code there. You can support the family. Very simple website. Tells a little bit about what happened to Enrique Delgado Garcia. And we have the running clock to demand answers. It's been well over 104 days without any answers. And if you click on these little icons here, it'll bring you directly to those affiliated authorities, and you can write your letters to them and let them know your displeasure. I'm actually going to add special investigator David Meyer as well, too, because David Meyer won't return any of my emails anymore. So I want people emailing him because he's the one that's investigating this, putting the case together and supposed to be bringing this forward. And 104 days without any answers. I want everybody to start emailing David Meyer. So maybe I'm going to start tweeting out his email address, and I want everybody to flood his email and demand answers to what happened to Trooper Enrique Delgado Garcia. And then on the bottom here, you can click on this to support the family. It goes directly to the GoFundMe. And I want to start contributing to that GoFundMe. Maybe we'll do some fundraisers. They have a $60,000 goal. I think they're at about 47,000. So I know we can do better than that. And let's get them to reach their goal. So listen, this has been a phenomenal Christmas special to go back and reminisce about what has happened over the year, especially here in the Free Karen Read movement, but a lot of things that have gone on here on the LTL Media channel. And it's been a blast. I'm truly blessed. I've been channeling the universe lately. I've been open about this. I started getting therapy, mental health therapy in July. And it's helped me so much, and it's calmed me down. and it's got me more laser focused on what I want to do here in 2025 in my personal life, the things that I want and I need, and all the goals that I want to accomplish in my life as well too. And I'm so happy that all of you could be part of this experience here and be subscribed to this channel and been, part of all the amazing things that we've been able to do through the power of this channel. You all keep me going. And I know that you all help and contribute to all these other great creators that are in this movement. I've met so many amazing people. I've met so many people that are lifelong friends now. All my moderators that are here, all the people that contribute to the channel or Karen Read's Defense Fund. You're all amazing. And I've been blessed, truly blessed and lucky to do a lot of things that I've been able to take part in. And, don't, if you have a goal and you have a dream, go for it. Don't let anybody tell you can't. And that's one thing that I hate when people tell me in life, you can't do that. And then what I do is I turn around and prove them wrong and say, I can. And I want you all to have that attitude going into 2025. You're all beautiful, amazing people. You can make things happen. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself because no one's going to do it for you. And if you put the hard work in and you have a true passion in what you do, you can accomplish anything in life. I promise you that. I am living it right now. I am living it right now, and I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. But right now, in this very moment, I'm living life, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be with all of you and all the people that are in my personal life that I've gotten to meet, over 2025. And it's been such an amazing experience. So let's keep it going. We still have a couple more days here in 2024 to get through. I'm probably going to end up doing something on New Year's Eve as kind of like a countdown or something like that. Maybe we can get some creators on the panel to pop in. I think it would be great. And I also want to announce this show too. I don't know if you saw this, but I have this up on the calendar right now. And on January 8th, let me just pull this up real quick before we head out and mark your calendars. And I apologize. I'm probably going to pronounce her name incorrectly, but I think Mike from Young Jerks has had her on his show before as well too. I think it's Dunja, and I may be saying that wrong, and I'll make sure that I get that correct. Perkins is going to be live in my studio on January 8th, and she is actively running for Norfolk DA, and she will be challenging Michael Morsi. So I cannot wait to have that conversation. Please make sure to go over and leave your reminders, set your reminders for that show. That's going to be at 7 p.m. on the 8th. And I think that is a Wednesday night. It's a Wednesday night. And I'll drop the link in the chat. Set your reminders. It's going to be a great show. And Mike says, and then we had the biggest year ever of my show. Yeah, that's right. Therapy is great for YouTubers. That's where I started again in 2024. Mike, that's good that you're in mental health counseling. I urge everybody to get in mental health counseling. And he said, you can do it. Do the work. I love it. And again, Mike, we're going to do some Juna. I got it. Juna. And again, we're going to do some shows in 2025. So this has been great. Thank you all for being with us tonight. And I say us because my moderators and all my subscribers. And I hope that everybody gets to watch this back on replay. Give it a like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back soon. I'm going to take probably a couple days off here. Maybe kick it back again next week. Excuse me. Oof, I'm like burping all of a sudden. Next week, I'll be back. And what a great show to go back and do this. But thank you all for being here. I love all of you. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, just reach out to me. You know how to do it. And I look forward to putting that Enrique Delgado Garcia timeline together. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if you guys all know, I have a website. I got a website. It's ltlmedianews.com. And I usually post all my recent articles up on Facebook. You can go over here, just click on these little icons about the stories that you want to follow. Obviously, Enrique Delgado Garcia has been very big on my channel right now. But I just wrote a recent article to that, in addition to it, and I'm going to drop the link there. I urge everybody to check that out. And it's the top story, and that'll answer a lot of the questions that have come up lately. And I just want to keep making sure that we get clarity in the case, and anything that I put out there, I run by the family and I ask the family and get it vetted by the family. And hopefully we'll start getting some more information, some more answers soon. So thank you all for being here. I love all of you. I look forward to a very prosperous 2025 for all of us. And hopefully we don't get to a trial in April for Karen Reed. But if we do, Karen Reed is going to walk out of that courtroom an exonerated, free and clear woman to go on with her life. And I look forward to that. And I look forward to sharing more experiences with all of you in 2025. All right, I'm going to hit the outro. We're going to do the old outro because it's been a while. I love all of you. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Brian. This is LTL Media. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Take the change and set the trap.